And we are live. What's going on, people? How you guys doing? Hopefully you're all doing well. Hopefully you're ready for Christmas if you celebrate it. Hopefully you all have a good time, man. No drama, no stress, just a quick one tonight. I've not live streamed in a while, so yeah, thought I'd fire one up. I've got nothing better to do today. So yeah, man, we'll see who comes in and we'll talk some boxing. Or maybe non-boxing related topics, who knows? I've got no clue where this is going, if I'm being completely honest. No real topic in mind. Nothing I want to get off my chest. I will let the chat dictate where this one goes. As always, when it's solo, that's how it goes. You know, you guys know how it is. We don't do none of that fucking planning shit on this channel. We don't plan. Who does that, man? Let me just fill this shit up. 1 second. Okie dokie. Oh, for fuck's sake. There we go. That's that done. Multitasking here. Multitasking. John99 in the chat. What's going on, man? How you doing? Ah, Mr. Doc. I failed you. I didn't get it. I said next time you come, I'll get it, but I failed you. I'll definitely find it, but yeah. Okie dokie. Don Hearn in the building. Big up, Don Hearn. Hopefully you're doing well. What are we drinking today then, fellas? What do you think? We are drinking some Ciroc vodka, just a bit of ice, and some grapefruit juice. That is lovely, I'll tell you that now. Bit of vodka, ice, and grapefruit juice. Beautiful. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Look at this shit. I'm working tomorrow as well, so I can't really overdo it, but you know how it goes. We say that now, but these go down far too easily. I'll tell you that now. John99, I think Jermell Charlo has one of the most underrated chins in boxing. I'll tell you what, he took some big shots from Tony Harrison. And Tony Harrison, he does have power in that right hand of his. And yeah, Charlo has taken those shots really well. Really well. That was a really good fight, actually. I enjoyed it. That's beautiful. That is absolutely stupendous. But yeah, I do agree. Jermell Charlo's got a pretty good chin. And that was a really good fight. I wasn't really expecting that. I was kind of expecting a repeat of the first fight with a little more drama. You know, a few more punches thrown, just a more high-octane version of the first fight. But we got a damn good scrap. That was a very good fight. Yeah, Mr. Doc, that Harrison-Charlo rematch was excellent. And that card itself weren't bad. It panned out really well. The Ajagba fight was entertaining. Really didn't expect that. And even on the undercard, there was an Olympian, Balderas, I think his name was, who was unbeaten. He got beat as well. So pretty good card, actually. Surprisingly good card. But for Mr. Doc, it's Crown Royale on the rocks as usual for me. Mixes of the kids. Man, I've don't know, man. I can't really touch straight spirits anymore. The only thing I can touch is like vodka, like straight, like I can drink that on its own. But I've gone right off whiskey, things like that. I'm a vodka man more than anything. And I don't mind gin. Don Hearn, he can only drink pink grapefruit. The yellow grapefruit's too bitter. See, I'm drinking the yellow one with vodka. It's really nice. It is really nice. Kind of complements each other. I don't know how, but it's really nice. Yeah, Mr. Doc. Yeah, Tony Harrison was digging to the body very well in that fight. Some hard left hooks. Some very hard left hooks to the body. Yeah, Hashman, I mentioned that earlier, yeah. Balderas, that surprised me as well. That really surprised me because I heard a lot of good things about him. Obviously, a US Olympian, knocked out most guys he's fought so far. But the kid who he fought, he came to fight. He really did. And it was a good fight as well. It was a really good fight. I enjoyed it. Yeah, Mr. Doc, I agree. In regards to the stoppage, I wouldn't say it was premature, but I can see where people are coming from. I mentioned that as well. If he stopped it after the second knockdown, no complaints because Harrison's head was bopping around like a pinball. But when he stopped it, I can kind of see the complaints, but yeah, it's one of those ones. I wouldn't say it's a terrible stoppage. I wouldn't say that, but Crazy D3, he says, fuck Xmas. Yeah, tell me about it, right? It damages your wallet, I'll tell you that much. My wallet isn't looking as healthy as it did start of the month, I'll tell you that now. Jesus Christ. I don't get it, right? So as I've got older, my circle has kind of shrunk. I like who I like, anyone else can get out. But somehow, every Christmas I end up spending more money. Don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. Jamel versus Jamal at catchweight would be a pay-per-view. Imagine that fight. Yeah, Jamel, that's a good fight, man. And credit to Jamel for getting his title back. He did well. He got the knockout and on to the next one. Hopefully now we see Jamel fight the winner of, Julian Williams has a fight coming up against a mandatory. Providing Williams wins that, we need Jamel Charlo versus Julian Williams. No more messing around. No more marinating. Just make that fight in the summer. Julian's fighting in January. Get that fight out of the way. Get the fight going on in summer. There we go. Sorted. That's a great fight. That's a great fight. I prefer Julian Williams as a fighter. However, will his chin hold out in that fight against Jamel Charlo? Because Jamel Charlo, yeah, he could get outboxed. Yes, he could get worked on the inside, but he'll keep on coming. He'll keep on swinging. He could knock out Julian Williams. Make no mistake about it. A lot of people are, from what I've seen online, a lot of people are hands down picking Julian Williams to win that fight. I wouldn't be that confident. I really wouldn't. I think Jamel Charlo has a very good chance against Julian. I really do. I think he's got a very good chance. That's a hell of a fight, by the way. Julian Williams, Jamel Charlo. That's a hell of a fight. We need to get that fight on. It's a hell of a fight, man. But I think I might favour Jamel Charlo. That's controversial, I think. But I think I'd favour Jamel Charlo. Yeah, Mr. Doc, I feel your pain. I feel your pain, man. Yeah, Hashman, yeah, Balderas. He was getting involved way too much. He was getting involved, like you say, getting caught by that left hook on numerous occasions, and he got knocked out. He got knocked out, man. Hell of a fight, though. He did very well to get past that first knockdown because a lot of referees would have stopped it then and there. He was all over the place, to be honest. He was all over the place. Balderas certainly got heart. We can say that much, but defensively, very open. Very open. Yeah, Hashman, he says he sees J-Rock winning that fight. He should work on the inside and not get complacent. Yeah, I agree. He needs to get on the inside and try to outwork Charlo. And like you say, don't get complacent, don't get cocky. But, Charlo can crack. Charlo can punch. And Julian Williams. I don't think Julian has the greatest chin. I don't think he's got a bad chin, but what I'm trying to say is Jermell Charlo, in my opinion, has the power to knock him out. So he needs to be on point in that fight. He really does. He really does. That's one of the fights I want to see most next year, actually. Jermell versus Julian. Hell of a fight. Yeah, John 99. I agree. You say, I think if Julian Williams and Jermell fight, Williams may be winning on the cards, but I see Jermell Charlo knocking him out late. Yeah, so do I. Because Jermell's going to keep on coming. He's going to force that pace. He's going to try and dig to the body, land those hard shots. And I think eventually, as Williams tires down the stretch, he'll walk into something and he'll get knocked out. But hell of a fight, though. Don't get it twisted. Wouldn't be shocked if Julian won that fight. He's a hell of a fighter. But if I had to put my money where my mouth is, I would bet on Jermell Charlo to win that fight. Crazy D3. Went Xmas shopping today and I really can't stand the Xmas music. Yeah, man. Yeah, I totally agree. It's absolutely painful, man. They play that middle of November. Oh, God. I used to work in that environment as well, like in an office where that music was playing all the time, man. I thought, Jesus Christ. Couldn't deal with it, man. Christ's sake. Oh. Yeah, as you get older, man, Christmas loses that spark, to be honest. It really does. Like you say, these days, I'm more worried about what I'm spending on Christmas more than anything else. That's really it. That's really it, man. Yo, Sporting Icons in the chat. Big up Sporting Icons, man. Shout out Sporting Icons. Saw your streams yesterday, by the way, with Luther Clay. Very good stream. I really enjoyed that. He's come on really well, Luther Clay, in the last few months. He got that win in Italy and most recently on the Next Gen show. So Luther Clay, man, he's going in the right direction. I'd like to see that fight with Conor Benn sometime next year. But yeah, great interview, man. Great interview. Yeah, Patrick Teixeira, Mr. Doc. He was the interim WBO champion at 154. I think he'll get elevated if he's not been elevated already. He may have been elevated by now. Yo, we've got official scorecard boxing in the chat as well, man. Big up official. Yeah, Luther Clay, Chris Kongo. Yeah, I mentioned that in the comments. That'd be a great fight. That's a very good fight between two prospects. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too, official, man. Yeah, I saw you got Nick Webb on Sporting. I've not seen that one yet. But yeah, he did well, man, at the Ultimate Boxer. I didn't pick him to win that. Originally, when that tournament was made, I was picking either Sean Turner or Sokolowski. Obviously, Sean Turner pulled out, but Hashman's got Chris Kongo against Luther Clay. I think it'd be a very good fight. MS Star in the chat. Big up to MS Star, man. Harrison Hurd rematch. Yeah, that's a good shout. Harrison Lara. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. These losers, man, they need to kind of fight each other, get back to the top of the queue kind of thing. Yeah, they're great fights. Although I think Jarrett Hurd's moving to middleweight, I want to say. I'm pretty sure Jarrett Hurd's moving up. I'm sure Jarrett Hurd's moving up. Yeah, smash for like, lads. That'd be great. Smash for like. Yo, Frank the French in the building. Big up, Frank. I'm pretty sure you're still leading the old fantasy football league. I've not checked it in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, big up Frank. Merry Christmas, man. Merry Christmas. John99, he says, Del, have you seen Spence's first interview since the car crash? If so, what do you make of it? I was going to make a video, but I've not got round to it. I might not even make a video on it. But I saw the reaction to it, people's reactions as well. A lot of people, based on their reaction, you would think this guy was Stephen Hawkins in that interview. I think people greatly exaggerated how he sounded and whatnot. Did he sound 100%? No, but he didn't sound too bad in my opinion. You've got to consider, if we believe the stories, the guy's had a lot of dental work done, a lot of dental surgery. That stuff takes a long, long time to recover from. It takes a long time to get used to those sort of things. And initially, that is going to affect your speech and things like that. Did he sound as clear as he usually does? Not really, but it's minuscule. It's really minuscule. There's not much difference in that Spence interview to a few years ago, man. There really wasn't much difference. I think a lot of people were over exaggerating in regards to how bad he sounded. To be honest, he looked a bit rough. I'll say that much. He looked a bit rough, but you kind of expect that. Hasn't been working out, been on that hospital food, been on God knows what medication. So the guy looks rough, yeah. But I didn't think it was that alarming, if I'm being honest. The only thing that was alarming was his attitude to it. In regards to, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines of, if it was somebody else, they wouldn't have made it. And I am paraphrasing. So, but things like that, it kind of leads me to believe that, I don't know, man, he's still not learnt his lesson kind of thing, but time will tell. Time will tell. Exactly, MS Star. He could be on all types of medication as well. He's had that dental surgery. Or as Mr. Doc said, could have been the liquor. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I didn't think he sounded too bad. I really didn't. And as John99 says, like, Spence has always been like a laid-back type of guy. Kind of that deep sort of accent from Texas. I mean, the guy's not... He's never going to be a Shakespeare reader, is he? Do you know what I mean? That is true sporting, yeah. He did have a lot of scar tissue. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. You wonder if that could be opened up in fights. Yeah, that's a very good point. That is a good point. A lot of scar tissue, a lot of... yeah, it was obvious. But yeah, he's done very well to get through that. He really has. And yeah, Mr. Doc, that's another good point in regards to Spence cutting weight. Yeah, after this layoff, I mean, you'd imagine it's going to be a hard weight cut. This initial one, anyway, is going to be very hard because, like we say, he's not worked out. He's been on that hospital food, been on God knows what medications. So this first weight cut to welterweight could be very hard. And if I'm his team, I'm his manager, I'm his promoter, he has a tune-up fight. He's saying, well, I don't want a tune-up fight. I want to fight Pacquiao, Garcia, Crawford, etc. Bro, if I was his manager, he's having a tune-up fight. Because I wouldn't risk it if I was managing him. I really wouldn't. Yeah, Mr. Doc, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. Same thing happened to Pazienza after his accident. Yeah, had to move up in weight. Yeah. That's a very good point. I've not considered that, actually, the weight cutting side to the story. I've not considered it at all. That's a really good point. And Sporting Icon's point as well about the scar tissue. Yeah, very good points. But You know, given the circumstances, he's done very well. He really has. He's done very well. Yeah, Frank, 100%, man. 100%. Definitely needs a tune up. Like, if I was managing him, I would have him fight. You know, he's got that mandatory with the IBF. Quadratilo, somebody. I can't say his second name. He's some Eastern European dude. He's an okay fighter, but not a top 10 welterweight. You know, not a guy who's going to trouble any of the elite. If I was Spence's manager, I would use that as the tune-up fight because it gets that mandatory out of the way, and we'll see how Spence looks. That's what I would do if I was promoting or managing Spence. Yo, Jay's Boxing Universe in the building. Big up Jay's Boxing Universe, man. A long-time supporter. Most of you guys are long-time supporters, though, so big up all you guys, man. Bit of a slow one because it's Christmas, but it is what it is, man. Thought I'd fire one up. Had nothing better to do, so I do need to catch up on today's boxing, though. I watched the Roman Gonzalez fight, that quick fight. I watched that one, but I need to see Gashi versus Maflane. Apparently, that was a good fight. So I've got a couple of fights to catch up on from today. The Murata fight as well. I need to watch that. I know Murata won, but he's always good value. Ryota Murata, really good fighter to watch. Nah, sporting icons, me neither, mate. Me neither. Like, I done my wrapping up the other day. I bought all the gifts a little while ago, but it just doesn't feel like Christmas, man. It doesn't feel like it at all. I think as you get older, though, I've not really felt it since I've turned, what? I'd say since I've turned 20, 21, I've not really felt Christmassy, to be honest with you. I've really not. I'm 25 now. And yeah, like Christmas for me, it's nice to have a couple of days off, nice to drink a few beers, eat a lot of food. That's all nice, but it is what it is, man. I'm not one of those Christmas people, to be honest with you. In all honesty, I'm looking forward to New Year's more than Christmas because it's a great opportunity to have a good blowout, man. Getting absolutely mashed up. Exactly, Frank. Exactly, man. See, I've got I mentioned it earlier. I've got grapefruit and vodka at the minute. It's going down a treat. I tell you that much. It's going down a treat. Mr. Doc, so with Spence on the mend, Garcia tied up with Redkach, shaking my head, Thurman possibly retired, Porter coming off a loss, and Crawford on the wrong side of the street. Who do they match Manny with next? Yeah, that's a really good point because Mikey's gone to the zone. I thought Mikey would be fighting Manny next, if I'm being honest. That's the fight I was expecting. I mean, Jesus Christ, who is there? Christ almighty. I'm trying to think, who could Manny Pacquiao fight next? Because apparently he's fighting in April. Christ. You guys are going to have to help me out. I'd love it to be Sean Porter, by the way. I would love Sean Porter versus Manny Pacquiao. Even off a loss, you know, Sean Porter's a top guy. Top guy. He's a top fighter, so that'd be a great fight, but I can't see that happening. Who's Manny going to fight? Could Danny Garcia have a quick turnaround? I think Danny's fighting in January. He's fighting Redkach in January. Manny wants to fight April, maybe May. Would Danny Garcia go back to the ring in April, May after fighting in January? You would hope so for a Manny Pacquiao fight. You know, Danny may be an option. Hopefully you're right, Sporting. Hopefully you're right. I'd love to see Manny Pacquiao, Sean Porter. I'd accept that fight. Max Kuckerman in the building. Yeah, Manny, 41 years old, still holding down the welterweight division exactly. I mean, that Keith Thurman win was very impressive. Very impressive because Keith Thurman, what, 11 years younger? Unbeaten, champion, bigger, stronger. That was a hell of a win. And Manny took his licks in that fight. He took some big shots from Keith Thurman, and he kept on coming. That was a hell of a fight. I've still only seen that fight once. I've been meaning to watch it back so many times, but yeah, I need to watch that back because I really enjoyed that fight when I watched it. I really enjoyed it. Manny Pacquiao in the first 6 rounds was outstanding. He was outstanding. After the 6th round, he tailed off a bit, understandably, being 41 years old, but hell of a win. Hell of a win. Yeah, Jay's Boxing Universe and Sporting Icons, they're mentioning Amir Khan for Manny Pacquiao. Wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. Amir Khan, say what you want about him. He's still somewhat of a name. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Danny Garcia, Frank. I think that'd be a decent fight. I like Danny Garcia. I've always liked Danny Garcia, though. Jay's Boxing Universe, let's be honest. Manny's probably fighter of the decade again. Yeah, I think they're going to give fighter of the decade to Canelo, if I'm being honest. I think that's a foregone conclusion. It's going to be Canelo. Yo, Lewis in the chat. What's going on, Lewis? Lewis has been here for a long time. Lewis has been here so long, I can't even tell you how long he's been here. He's been here a long time. So big up Lewis, man. Max Kuckerman. Who stole more checks, Khan or Broner? Broner, and I'll tell you for why. At least when Khan steals checks, he gets knocked out spectacularly. All Adrian Broner does is shell up and like bores the pants off us. So I'm going to say Broner. At least Khan gives me some type of entertainment. I'm going to say Broner. Yeah, man. Danny's dad, Angel Garcia. Yeah, that guy's crazy, man. Do you remember? Yeah, Angel Garcia in the build-up to Khan Garcia was crazy, man. He was crazy. That was prime Angel Garcia, 2012 to 2013. So the Khan build-up and the Zab Judah build-up, hilarious. Absolutely fucking hilarious. Sporting Icons, funny you say that. He says, I'm in the minority, but I think Eubank Jr. will beat Charlo when they fight in the spring. I'm not necessarily going to pick Eubank Jr. I'm still undecided, but I've said this on my channel numerous times. I think Eubank Jr. gives Jermall Charlo hell because Jermall Charlo, he's not as elusive as a Billy Joe Saunders. He's not as slick as Billy Joe. He's not as physically imposing as George Groves. And he certainly doesn't punch as hard as George Groves. He's straight up and down. He's got a good jab, a good long right hand, a good left hook. But he's got fairly slow feet. He's not really great on the inside. If Eubank can get on his chest and work, that's a hell of a tough fight for Charlo. That's a really hard fight for Charlo. So I can see it. I can certainly see it. I can see a way Eubank wins that fight. But it's a war. I'll tell you that much. That's a war. Eubank versus Charlo. Sign me up. That's a war. See, if a PBC had sense, that's the fight they're going to make, sorry. Or they should have really let Jermall fight Andrade. That should have happened. If that doesn't happen, has to be Eubank Jr. or Derevyanchenko. One of those two guys. Anything else is not acceptable as far as I'm concerned. Not acceptable. If they don't fight Andrade, has to be Eubank Jr. or Derevyanchenko. That's fine by me. Anything else? Nah, I'm not having it. Not having it at all. B-Space in the building. Big up B-Space. Yeah. Hashman, yeah, that could be true. Eubank could lose, but he'll definitely give a good account of himself. Yeah, 100%. 100%. And he'll make it a tough fight for Charlo. Like even George Groves, who He beat Eubank Jr. decisively. Like, there is no doubt whatsoever. But physically, that was still a very tough fight for George Groves. A really tough fight. Yeah, Sporting, I agree, man. I've been critical of Jamal Charlo for a long time. And basically, my point is, as a boxing fan, the last time I was excited about a Jamal Charlo fight was December 2016. That's when he fought Julian Williams. That was the last time I was excited for one of this guy's fights. We are December 2019 now, nearly 4 years. Yeah, sorry, 3 years. Crazy. The guy's done nothing in 3 years. So he needs to fight somebody next. He really does. Unrivaled Boxing Talk and News. Del, did you see Maflane versus Yagashi? No, I've only seen Roman Gonzalez from that card. I still need to see Yagashi. I still need to see Murata as well. I need to see those fights. I heard both fights were really good though. And I heard Yagashi done better than expected early on as well. So I need to watch that fight. And big up Unrivaled as well. Yeah, J-Rock's good, Frank. Yeah, that was a good win for Jamal Charlo, J-Rock. Like, Jamal Charlo, I had no problem with Jamal Charlo at 154 because he beat Austin Trout, solid win. He beat Julian Williams, good win. 154, all fine by me. Middleweight, though, he's done absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. But, yeah, there is a good fighter in there. I think he's a solid fighter, Jamal Charlo. I don't think he's going to beat the best guys at 160, but he's a good fighter. I just want to see him in good fights. That's all. Yeah, Unrivaled, I agree. Was it Unrivaled who said that? Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, Sporting, sorry. Yeah, Murata, yeah, I think he's going to fight Jeff Horn next, yeah. And yeah, Maflane versus Yagashi was top draw. Need to see it then. I'll definitely watch that. I'll probably watch that after the stream, to be fair. Yeah, Hashman Boxing, Julio Cesar Martinez versus Maflane. That's a hell of a fight. I'll tell you this now, though. I know the guy's got a shady past with clenbuterol. That has to be said. However, Julio Cesar Martinez beats everybody in that weight class. He beats Tanaka, he beats Delakian, and he beats Maflane. You've heard it here first. I think the guy's the truth. I really do. I think he's a hell of a fighter. Love his style of fighting. Really do. Hell of a fighter. Pure aggression. He fights like he snorted a fat line of coke and he's going on a mad one. Hell of a fighter, though. Jay's Boxing Universe, man, he says, Gilberto Ramirez needs to leave Top Rank. I don't think they're promoting him properly. Dude beat Jesse Hart twice, but it seems like they're grooming Hart for the WBO belt. Ramirez needs to bail. Yeah, Ramirez, I've always been more high on Ramirez than a lot of people. He's a big, tall guy, southpaw, does the basics very well. I think this guy can trouble people. I really do. And he's got potential, but he's just not been stepped up. He's not had those big fights. He's not had those 50-50s to see how good he really is. I think there's a really good fighter in there, but it's getting boring waiting to find out. I want to see this guy fight somebody. Having said that, he's in a really good position to pick up the vacant WBO light heavyweight title. He's ranked number 1, and I believe, what's the dude's name? The Russian dude, Umar Salamov, is ranked number 2. So you would imagine that fight's going to get ordered for the vacant WBO. That's not a bad fight, but I'd expect Ramirez to win it. But I do like Ramirez. I think Ramirez is a good fighter. Yeah, Unrivaled, right? He probably did snort a fat line of coke. Fucking hell. Yeah, official man. Martinez's style, just all out aggression, like leading with left hooks. He'll triple up the left hook. He'll change angles, quick feet, fast hands, power, good chin. Yeah, that guy's a problem. He can counterpunch on the front foot, which is a really hard skill. Really hard skill. Very good fighter. Offensively, very gifted. Martinez. He's very gifted offensively. John 99, how do you think Jamal versus Eubank would play out? I talked about it a bit earlier, but I don't want to make an official pick yet. But if Eubank Jr. can get to Charlo's chest, it's a hell of a fight. He's in for a really hard night because Jamal can't fight on the inside. He really can't. But he's a good straight puncher. He's got a good jab, good long right hand, and a good left hook. So Eubank would need to watch out for like getting timed, walking into a big shot, because Eubank is very, very aggressive and he can be timed. So he needs to watch out for that. But if Eubank can make it rough, can get to the inside, hell of a fight. It's a competitive fight. I'll say that. Yeah, Hashman. That's the thing. He's got a weird style. Like you don't really see that style every day, but he makes it work. He does things that I don't know, man. It's hell of a fighter. Hell of a fighter. I think the guy's very good. I think he's very good. And me and Unrivaled, we was talking about this kid like just after the Andrew Selby fight, before he was about to fight Charlie Edwards, and we were saying back then that this kid could be, something good. And yeah, he's really impressing right now because nobody's stopped Christopher Rosales before. Nobody. So that's a good win. That's a very good win. Del, who would you say is the most athletically gifted fighter in boxing today? That is a very good question. That's a very good question. I guess you've got to put Lomachenko up there in regards to the hand-eye coordination, which is insane. Great hand speed, good foot speed. Lomachenko's up there. It's a hard one. I'll be honest. It's a really hard one. Hashman, he's saying Ramirez can't live with the top boys at 175. 40-0 with no significant wins. That is true. His resume is lacking. I agree. But I think this guy would be competitive with most, if not all, light heavyweights. I'm not saying he beats them. I'm taking Beterbiev to beat Ramirez. I would take Bivol to beat Ramirez. But he'd be competitive. I really believe that. Unrivaled, is anybody right now more exciting than Martinez? Bro, I've not seen him. To be honest, man, I'm a massive. Honestly, I love the guy's style. I'm really on Martinez at the minute. Yeah, that's a good point, Mr. Doc. Depends on the quality you look at. Like punching power is a natural gift. Reflexes and balance are natural gifts. Yeah, exactly. Like Wilder, like you say, punching power. Yeah. Yeah, Hashman, I could see that. I could see sorry, I've lost your comment, mate. Where's Hashman? Yeah, I could see Charlo dropping Eubank. Like Eubank could walk into a right hand like he did against Groves and get dropped. Only thing was against Groves, it wasn't counted. But yeah. Frank the French, Loma needs to stick to his word now, fight Lopez, then KO Tank and retire. That's if Tank gets past his fight. I mean, I think the Lopez fight's definitely happening next. That's a hell of a fight. I would take Lomachenko to beat Lopez. And after that fight, if he could fight Tank, I'm more than happy. Yeah, big up Sporting Icons. He's off to finish some Asda's shopping. Catch you laters. Yeah, you too, man. And big up Sporting Icons. Yeah, Unrivaled, yeah. We've been talking about Martinez. Yeah, big up Elias in the chat. Yeah, that is true, Hashman. When Centeno held his feet with Charlo in exchange, he went to sleep. That is true. But the only difference is, I think Eubank Jr., he's not going to stand at mid range. He's going to get on his chest. Can Charlo generate that power from up close without getting that extension when Eubank's kind of pushing him back, mauling him? I don't think Jamal Charlo's going to be as effective with his power in those moments. But, it's getting to that point. You don't just magically end up on the inside. You've got to get there, right? And getting there is going to be the hazardous part. You've got to cross the street without getting run over. So it's an interesting fight. It really is. It's a great fight. I'd love to see it happen. Obviously, I'd love to see the Andrade unification happen more. That's the fight I'd really like. But if that fight doesn't happen, and I don't expect it to happen, I'd like the Eubank Jr. fight or Derevyanchenko. That's what I want from Charlo, personally. Yeah, yeah. I've missed so many. In a way. MS Star, Pac-Man is the GOAT in my lifetime. That run of fights between 2008 and 2016 was epic. The amount of Hall of Famers and world champions he fought is a run we will never see again. Yeah, the guy's fought an insane level of competition. He really has. It's absolutely insane. 41 years old, welterweight champion. He just beat a guy in Keith Thurman. Bigger, stronger, younger, unbeaten, power puncher. Hell of a win, man. Hell of a win. Oldest welterweight champion of all time as well. The amount of accolades Manny Pacquiao's got is nuts, in all honesty. Yeah, Rances Barthelemy, yeah, he was gifted, yeah, in regards to like reflexes, balance, hand speed, switch hitting, yeah. But he could never put it all together, Barthelemy. That weird Cuban fighter syndrome could never put it together. I think John 99, he says, I don't know if Charlo could drop Eubank. It's definitely possible. Then again, Eubank has a good chin. Yeah, Eubank definitely has a good chin, but he does kind of throw himself off balance and things like that. He kind of lunges in. And in those moments, you are kind of susceptible to getting knocked down. Even if you're not hurt, you can just get knocked off balance if a punch lands. So I could definitely see it. I could see it. Unrivaled, I think he's linked the McLean fight in the building. In the chat. What am I talking about? Muppets. Oh, apparently it's a fight of the year contender. I'll definitely watch it. Eubank versus Liam Williams. That's a very good matchup. At 160, yeah. Liam Williams, man, he's come on really well. He really has. Punching hard. His jab is something vicious. He's aggressive. Yeah, he's come on a long way. I think those Liam Williams losses have really, really been the best thing that's happened to him, to be honest. Changed trainer, took training more seriously. He left his, hometown, went to Sheffield, training with Dominic Ingle, and he looks a much better fighter for it. I'll tell you that now. I know he's not beaten anybody of like world level contention, but Alantez Fox, 6'5", tall, lanky, awkward. This was a guy who took Demetrius Andrade the distance and was never close to getting knocked out. And Liam Williams blitzed the guy. That's something to talk about. Something to talk about. He's certainly improved. How good is he? It's hard to say because the guy hasn't fought at world level at middleweight. It's hard to say, but he looks improved to me. Yeah, Hashman, definitely. Liam Williams definitely has punching power at 160. No doubt. No doubt. And I know there are skeptics out there in regards to Liam Williams, you know, being with Dominic Ingle, PEDs, things like that. But listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. The guy's looking good. That's all I can say. He's looking very good. See, I'd love to see Liam Williams fight before he goes to fight for a world title. I'd love to see Liam Williams fight somebody who is fringe world level or who's been in and around world level. So I'll give you an example. I'd like to see Liam Williams fight somebody like Zalewski, for example. Someone like that, because I think that would give us a better gauge where this guy is at exactly. Because Zalewski, he's fought for a couple of world titles, made a good account of himself, you know, so there we go. That'd be a decent fight for Liam Williams, but I think he's going to go straight for that world title. Although apparently that fight with Atlantes Fox wasn't a final eliminator. Apparently it was only an eliminator, so there we go. But he's a good fighter. He's impressed me recently. And I like his style. I like aggressive fighters anyway. Sorry, I'm just moving my cushion. Fuck's sake. Uncomfortable in a minute. Let me change my seating position. Yeah, we've got Chase Athletics in the building. Big up to Chase. I know Chase knows his stuff, man. No, Hashman, that's your opinion, man. No need to apologise. No need to apologise. We're not one of those channels who ban people for having a different opinion. It's all good, man. It's all good. I'd like Eubank to win as well, but it's a hard fight. It's a really hard fight. Corey Lee boxing in the building. Big up Corey Lee. He himself's got a channel, so if you're feeling generous, you know, spread that Christmas spirit, check him out, man. Check him out. Yeah, exactly. Something in that Ingle gym, Hashman. Yeah, that's a good fight, Chase. J-Rock versus Williams at 154, yeah. Apparently, Liam Williams can still make 154, so it's certainly... I'd watch it, no doubt about it. Hashman Boxing. Now, this is an interesting comment. Andrade versus Jaime Munguia is happening in May after they both box in January. Okay. Now, I'm not mad at that fight because we've been looking for Jaime Munguia to step up for a long time. That's a hell of a step up. And even Andrade, like, his competition hasn't exactly been stellar. Apart from Zalewski, I don't think the guy's really fought anybody in recent times. So it's not a fight I'm kind of super excited for, but I'd watch it. Munguia versus Andrade. I think Andrade boxes past him easily, but I'd watch it. Why not? Why not? I'd watch it. Yeah, exactly. Hashman, exactly. So you have to consider as well, Munguia moving up, being a WBO champion, he's in line for a title shot straight away because he was champion at 154. So that fight makes sense if I'm being honest. Sorry, I'm just having a drink. What can I say? Yeah, Vanis Martirosyan, yeah, he dropped Andrade at 154, yeah. Martirosyan was a good fighter, though, at 154. He was underrated. I mean, he gave Jamel Charlo a really hard fight. He gave Lara 2 really hard fights. At 154, I can't remember Andrade ever being decisive. Sorry, not Andrade. Martirosyan ever being decisively beaten. He never got blown out at 154, never. He was a decent fighter. Unrivaled boxing talk and news. We'll go back and read this comment. 2003 to 2019. Most notable victories. This is for Manny Pacquiao. Not fights, but victories. Barrera ×2, Marquez ×2, Morales ×2, Solis, De La Hoya, Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto, Josh Clottey, Antonio Margarito, Shane Mosley, Tim Bradley, Adrian Broner, Lucas Matisse, and Keith one-time Thurman. That's a hell of a run. That is a hell of a run, I can't lie. Big up Manny Pacquiao, man. Big up. Boo Boo's a funny nickname. Unrivaled, man. That cracked me up. Oh, dear. Frank the French, he says, fight of the year is Taylor Prograis for me. 2 warriors, 2 champs. That rarely happens these days. Very good fight. Certainly in the running. For me, I think right now, I might rewatch these fights in the next few days, but right now I'm feeling Nonito Donaire versus Naoya Inoue as fight of the year, but Prograis versus Taylor certainly is a really good shout. Certainly. Munguia was rocked by a non-puncher in Dennis Hogan. Yeah, that is true. He was. But I do believe he was genuinely struggling to make weight. That you do have to consider that. I don't think that was a BS excuse. That guy was massive for 160. He must have been struggling badly because before that, he was taking shots from Liam Smith, for example. Now, Liam Smith, not a big puncher, right? But certainly a bigger puncher than Dennis Hogan. And he was eating those shots like M&Ms. So I think the Hogan one was partly down to the fact he was so drained, if I'm being honest. But we'll see what happens at middleweight. I think he gets schooled by Andrade, to be quite frank. I think he gets outboxed and beaten decisively, but I'd watch it. Hashman Boxing, Errol Spence versus Porter was better than Taylor Prograis. Again, we're splitting hairs here. Both tremendous fights. I wouldn't argue either way. I personally enjoyed Taylor Prograis a little bit more, but again, I'm not calling you crazy for saying that. I can see it. Hell of a fight. Mr. Doc, he's saying Donaire's got an impressive resume, including just fights. Yeah, his resume is good. Montiel, Darchinian twice, Narvaez, Rigondeaux, Nicholas Walters, Inoue. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Donaire's resume is stacked as well. Win, lose, or draw, but I think Manny's is just next level. Like, it's crazy, his resume. Frank the French might shoot in a bit. Dell, Mrs. has gone to bed. I've got a good few hours to smash out on Jedi Fallen Order. Plus, Babe Station starts in 15 minutes. Man, do your thing, man. Do your thing. Thank you for dropping by, and big up Frank. I think Frank is still leading the old fantasy football. I need to start getting back into that. Yeah, B Space, I agree. When it comes to Manny, you just got to tick all those boxes, man. He's done it all. He's done it all. Yeah, Hashman, that's a very good point. Nobody's really talking about this, but I think it was the WBC. They ordered Donaire Ubali. Hell of a fight. That's a hell of a fight. Don't listen, man. Ubali's a good fighter, though. He's a very good fighter. Very front foot heavy, but he's kind of awkward. He's mad strong. That's a hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. Ubali, maybe he could overwhelm Donaire at this age, but Donaire's got that power. Hell of a fight, man. Yo, people were calling me crazy for saying Donaire was going to knock out Tete as well. You remember that? Yeah, man. Unrivaled. Donaire Ubali has a hell of a fight. Big up Frank, man. Big up. Sorry for the old voice change there. It's a bit, what can I say? Hashman is saying, Donaire gets him out of there. I could see it. He could walk into that left hook or that right hand. Yeah, man, that's a great fight. Yeah, unrivaled, I agree. Nonito Hall of Fame. 100%. Yeah, but Casemiro, man, he went in there like a fucking soldier. He just blitzed Tete. I'll be honest, though. Like, I didn't call it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I didn't call it. But were you guys really that surprised when Tete lost? I wasn't, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, the guy's really not fought anybody since Maflane. His best win is Paul Butler. Let's be honest. He fought Maflane back in, what, 2007? 2008? And that's the best name on his resume. He got knocked out. Since then, you know, he's picked up wins. He's been a world champion. But he's not really beat anybody. And, you know, Casemiro, he's a tough bastard. He really is. Very good fighter. What's Casemiro now? What, 2-weight world champion? Was he a 3-weight world champion? I think he might be a 3-weight world champion. Casemiro. Point being, he's a very good fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. Casemiro. And yeah, Mr. Doc, Casemiro in UA, great fight. Without having a look, for some reason I'm inclined to lean towards Donaire. In fact, it could be my cannoli hate. That's in regards to Unrivaled's earlier question about Donaire and Canelo's resume. In terms of win, lose, draw, I'm going to say Donaire's got a better resume, man. I don't know. I need to really look at it, to be honest. Hashman Boxing, he's saying Casemiro won't last long with Inoue. Different kettle of fish. Yeah. As much as I like Casemiro, as much as he's genuinely a good fighter, you've got a favourite Inoue in that one. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of swift, you know? Chris Hayes, big up Chris Hayes in the chat. Big up Chris Hayes. He wants Tommy Fury versus somebody who's not lost 21 times. Well, next time, son, it could be somebody who's lost 50 times. We ain't going to see this guy step up in a long time, to be honest, man. We're not going to see it. They're going to milk his name. They're going to milk his popularity. And they'll see what they can do with him. I don't really see anything in Tommy Fury, to be honest. I really don't. Just a money earner for Frank Warren. It gets some eyes to his shows, I guess, but I don't think he's that great at all. I don't think he's that great. He's a big lump, you know, physically strong, but carrying all that muscle, man's going to get him in trouble, trust me. That guy, man, he's blatantly been using something. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Yeah, Hashman, you're right. If Tommy Fury wasn't on Love Island, would we be talking about his opponent? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, man. Yeah. Unrivaled's breaking down Canelo's resume. Win, lose, or draw. Mosley, Trout, Mayweather, Angulo, Lara, Cotto, Kirkland, Khan, Chavez. Smith, Golovkin times 2, Jacobs, Kovalev. Yeah, it's a good resume. It is a very good resume. No doubt about it. I don't really like Canelo that much. He's not one of my favourites, but I can't deny he's got a good resume. And he did take fights at certain times people didn't really expect. So with Canelo, like the things I always point out was when he started, not when he started his career, but when he started being like an elite world level fighter, he had the WBC 154-pound title, and at that time he was fighting loads of past it guys or smaller guys, guys like Kermit Cintron, Josecito Lopez, people like that. People were demanding a step up, and the first fight that people wanted to see Canelo take was Austin Trout. This was after Austin Trout beat Miguel Cotto. And at the time, Golden Boy didn't want Canelo to take that fight because it was too risky. But Canelo made Golden Boy make it. He took it, he won. Same thing with Lara as well. And you've got to bear in mind, Lara wasn't that long after Floyd. A lot of people wanted to see Lara versus Canelo again. Golden Boy didn't want it, but Canelo made it happen. So I do give Canelo credit for taking certain fights. He has taken risks. There's no doubt about it. You guys know my problems with Canelo. It's not necessarily him or his resume. It's just the advantages he gets in the ring and things like that. That's my problem with Canelo. But as a fighter, he's tremendous. He really is. He's a very good fighter. See, Unrivaled, I forgot about Muflane, Nishioka, Jorge Arce. Yeah. Yeah, Hashman. As you say, 2012 Fighter of the Year. In 2012, he beat Nishioka, Arce. Who else did he beat? He beat Arce, Nishioka. Oh, he beat the South African dude as well. He won 4 times in 2012. I know that much. Saul West, yeah, Marco Huck pulled out against Joe Joyce with a hand injury. Yep, saw that. Matabula, yes. Matabula, that's it. That's the one. That's the one, because Matabula, yeah, he went on to fight Kiko Martinez afterwards, yeah. And Vasquez Jr., yeah, Vasquez Jr. was a split decision, if I'm correct. That's it, yep. Vasquez Jr., Matabula, Nishioka, and Arce. That was it. There we go. ABC Def in the building. Big up ABC. Going to wrap this one up soon, bro. But thanks for coming by. Just really a quick one on the 23rd of December. We are 2 sleeps away from Christmas. Hopefully, you guys get everything you want. I just want a bit of peace and quiet, mate. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of booze, some food, just some chill time, man. I don't want to be rushing around and having to see loads of people. Just my family. That's it, man. We don't want no drama. Screw it. Not that, man. Hashman Boxing 2007 to 2012 Daenerys was a monster. He would have beaten Inoue, in my opinion. Certainly a very good chance of that. Yeah, Unrivaled, you can say what you want, mate. I'm going to be on a few more minutes, like maybe 10 minutes, I'd say. Adam Scott, mate, to be honest with you, I mentioned it earlier, like Christmas these days for me doesn't really mean much to me. It's more of a time off, seeing family. And that's really it, mate. It is what it is. It's not my favourite time of year either. See, I'm a summer guy, man. When it's summer, that's when I'm alive, mate. That's when it's all popping. Summer. I love the sun. Like I was born in the wrong country, mate. Like I get after the summer ends, I get really bad fucking. What do you call it? Is it seasonal depression or something? When the sun goes away, you get fucking moody. Yeah, I get that bad. I hate the winter in general. I hate it. Yeah, Chase Athletics. I saw the Harrison fight. Excellent fight. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Really good fight. Really good fight. And one thing I never mentioned in my post fight was Tony Harrison showboating in that fight. He got way too comfortable. What's the saying? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Well, Tony Harrison got knocked out. All that showboating. It's hard to say that though because he was losing on the cards officially, but we all know he was winning really. But yeah, man, the showboating didn't really do him any favors. Should have kept his eye on the prize, but it is what it is. He got knocked out. Very good fight though. Really good fight. Yeah, Chase Athletics. Yeah, Kaladze dropping F.A. Ajagba. That's a hell of a fight as well. That's a hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. And listen, man, that card on paper, wasn't that strong, but it panned out really well because main event, excellent. The Ajagba fight, loads of drama. The prospect Balderas got knocked out. That's actually a good card, Fair play to the PBC. And next, 28th of December, next weekend, you've got Badou Jack versus Jean Pascal. I think that's a really, really good fight. That's a really good fight. I know Jean Pascal's seen better days, but stylistically, man, that's a good one. I like we've got some boxing on over Christmas, man. I really do. Yeah, unrivaled. Sidorenko, that was a guy. When Donaire knocked him out, his face just fucking split open, and you could literally see blood bubbles on his face. It's fucking crazy. He just smashed his nose up. It's madness. Yeah, I remember that knockout. Yep, Sidorenko wasn't a bad fighter either. Yeah, ABC Def. Yeah. So Tapora got knocked out by Escandon, body shot, first round knockout. Yeah, I was shocked when I saw that because I was making something. I was making a drink, and I come back and I saw the guy on the floor. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Because Tapora was supposed to win that fight. I think Tapora was 23-0 going into that fight. Escandon lost his last three. Yeah, let me go back to Adam Scott. Adam Scott left a comment. Yeah, about the seasonal affective disorder. Yeah, around Christmas. Yeah, exactly. I don't like this time of year. Yeah. Man, Mr. Doc, it can't be as bad as the UK where you live. It can't be as bad as the UK. I mean, I can only remember in my lifetime 3 or 4 really good summers. 2018 was a great summer. That was a brilliant summer, but there's really not many. I would say there's one good summer every 6, 7 years, something like that. Man, this global warming shit needs to fucking hurry up because if global warming results in a warmer UK, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Do you know what I mean? I'm all for it, man. Yeah, big up Aobs in the chat. Who's that in your profile picture? Asking for boxing research purposes. What I'll do is, lads, I will put it in my community tab. I'll find the name and I will link it. I'll tell you guys. I'll know who it is next time I stream. I'll make that promise. I've said that before and I broke it, but I will definitely I'll let you guys know. She's nice, isn't she? She's alright, Big old speed bags. Fucking hell. See how all the gyms I've been to, there's always been chicks there, and like every time there's been someone half decent looking. I find it hard to train, man. I really do. It's crazy. It's crazy. Fucking hell. Yeah, Del, where do you get? We want to know where you get your boxing related porn. Fucking hell. Pacific Northwest is as gloomy as Mordor. Yeah, man, Jesus. I never knew he was from that part of the world. I knew he was from America, of course, but I didn't assume there. It's crazy you assume things, man, but yeah, Adam Scott, I agree. I like sporty women as well. And yeah, I was going to ask you guys something, and I've totally forgot. So it'll come back to me, maybe. It'll come back to me at some point. Okay, yeah, Washington State may not be as bad as the UK, but we're definitely in the discussion. Yeah, yeah, I've heard Washington's quite bad actually. To be fair, in terms of weather. See, if I lived in America, there's certain places I'd love to go to. Like, I'd love to go to Texas. I'd love to go to Louisiana, Miami as well. Anywhere else, I think that's really it. To be quite honest, Miami, Louisiana, and Texas. That's what I'd like to. That's where I'd like to go in America. And Nevada, just Vegas, just because that's where I'd like to visit. See, the dream is me and the lads eventually go to America on a road trip. That's a dream. That's something we've talked about for a long time. Whether it happens or not is something completely different. But yeah, I'd definitely like to go to America, man. Oh, you've got cannabis down in the Pacific West, eh? Maybe I might um pay it a visit. Mate, I've been smoking way much more than I should be recently. And this was after a period of not smoking for like 5 years. I've been smoking loads recently. So I had a spliff the other day, like maybe a month ago. Loved it, and I've been fucking on it ever since, basically. That's what I'm like though with that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. So what's the harm, right? What is the harm? Are you smoking cigars? No, sir. I've not smoked a cigar in like what, probably 3 years. Fat apples, big up fat apples, man. I've not seen you for ages. Big up fat apples. Are you on Peds? Yeah, exactly, man. Banana Kush is my preference. But yeah, man, America, mate. One day it's going to happen, no doubt about it. I'll definitely visit at some point. But nah, man, fat apples, me too, mate. I've been busy with work as well recently. Fucking new job started in November, and it's been a bit just different. I've got a different timetable now in regards to like waking up, coming home, and things like that. And it's really kind of killed my motivation to do like even this, man. I'll be honest with you. I've kind of forced myself to make videos, and yeah, 2020. I want to reinvigorate my passion for it, so to say. I still enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I still really enjoy it, but yeah, I'm not one of those people who can like leave stuff at the door, like work at the door kind of thing. I kind of let it sits in the back of your mind kind of thing. I'm that type of guy. I worry about everything, mate. That's the type of person I am, kind of thing. But so yeah, it's blazing on some El Chapo, yes sir. You know how it is, man. You know how it is. Yeah, big up Jackal Davis as well. Jackal Davis, he's been basically in every live stream I've done for the last few times. He's been here all the time, so big up, man. Rate out of 10. Let me how do I fuck's sake? Do you know what? I hate StreamYard sometimes. I really fucking do. It's a pain in the ass. So I can't even copy and paste the link. I've got to go to YouTube and fucking go on my channel. There we go. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this link. Smash the like, lads, by the way, if you could. What's her name? Autumn Falls. Yeah, she is nice, you know. See, I really like light-skinned girls, mate. I really like light-skinned girls. How do you do a fucking screen share on this shit? How do you do this shit? Mate, I'm like an old man with this fucking computer, mate, honestly. How do you do this shit? Share screen. How do you do this nonsense? Can you guys see this shit, by the way? Let me know if you guys can see it. Hang on. I think we've done it. There we go. Look at that shit. That is absolutely stupendous. Look at that. Shall we look at? Let's look at some of these thirsty comments as well. Actually, I want to fuck your pussy. Ever the gentleman. Some of these comments crack me up, man. Let's find some creepers. How do you do this shit? Shall we have a little skin through of a fucking Oh mate, look at that shit. She don't look as nice. I thought she was mixed race. I feel like Unrivaled set me up, you know, but yeah, these comments, man. Yeah, she's alright, you know. Bruv, look at that shit. Look at that shit, man. Oh dear. Fucking hell. Yeah, look at that shit, man. The amount of things you could do with these, mate, honestly. The amount of things you could do with these. Fucking hell. Next level shit, look at that. There we go. There we go. Yeah, Adam Scott, the comments, man, crack me up. Oh dear. I couldn't tell whether she was like Asian or mixed race, but she would get it. Do you know who I like actually right now? Is that Maya Jama from the UK, man. She is nice. She is up there, mate, honestly. Yeah, B Space. That's what I was worried about, mate. Mark's yeah, Mark, he is known to slip in a man in there as well, you know, so Adam Scott, they'd probably kill their nans to sleep with her. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Chris Hayes, that's what I'm saying, though. That's 100% correct, Chris. So some guys will write this comment out and they write in it like they expect her to see it, not only see it, but respond in a positive manner and say, "Do you know what? This is the guy for me." Like, it's fucking unbelievable, unbelievable. Fucking hell, you're 100% right. But pro tip though, mixed race girls, honestly, they are the truth, mate. They really are. Like, I'd say the best I've ever had has been a mixed race girl. She was fucking banging. She's from Luton. Fucking hell. Definitely up there, mate, honestly. It always ends up in you know, misogynistic topics, but that's what we like here, mate. That's what it's all about. Fuck it. Yeah, this guy, man. I'm gonna slide into his DMs. He left a really nice comment on my Insta where I get millions of comments per day. But this guy has something like fucking hell. Oh dear, Mr. Doc. In regards to her titties, I was gonna say if they're fake, they're awfully good work. Yeah, exactly. I remember, right? I was in Bulgaria, and I got this lap dance, and it was an all-touch club. But you could do what you want, basically. And I touched her tits, yeah, and I swear down, it felt like she had fucking golf balls in her tits. She had a weird ass tit job, honestly. It felt so weird, man. So fucking weird. I'm not usually the type to go to a strip club. Like, I've never been to one in the UK, but out there it was so cheap. Like, I'm talking 20 quid for like a lap dance touching. I thought, why not? Like, that's good value. Can't turn down that value. You know what I mean? You don't see that every day, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Exactly, Mr. Doc. All you gotta do, offer them enough money. Simple. Or just lie through your teeth and get them that way. When they find out, onto the next one. It is what it is. It's beautiful. I'm drinking way too much of this shit. I can't lie. I got to wake up tomorrow. Got to go to work tomorrow. But we might squeeze in one more, smoke a little bit more, and we'll wrap it up. That is beautiful. Hey, Obs. All these fake asses. It's got to feel like smashing a basketball. Fucking hell. 2 rugby balls. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Mr. Doc. Yeah, if I'm going to spend money on hose, I'm going to spend money on proper full service hose. There we go. You got to get your money's worth. Tough times out there, man. You know, tough times. Yeah, man. Aobs working tomorrow. Got to pay the bills, man. Got to pay the bills. But today was really quiet. Got a lot of fucking shit done, so I'm not really that bothered, to be honest. There's some family thing going on tomorrow, and I really don't want to be there, so I'd rather be at work, if I'm being honest. It's worked out okay. I've not actually got that much time off this Christmas, but like I was saying earlier, Christmas doesn't really do it for me anyway, so I'm not that bothered. I'm really not, but it's just so commercial these days, man. Yeah, Jackal, gotta work, man. Working, man. That's it. Yeah, I've worked today, working tomorrow. I've got Christmas off, Christmas Day off. I've got Boxing Day off. Then I'm back in, so don't really have much time off. But whatever, is what it is, man. Good thing is though, like what I do now, there's not really that much work to do right now because nobody's really sending in invoices or anything like that. So kind of light work at the minute. So it's not too bad. Bro, this is going to my head. This fucking shit, man. I need to stop smoking this shit. Fucking hell. We'll have one more vodka and orange, vodka and grapefruit, and we will call it a stream. Let's pour this shit out. Let's be conservative with the amount of vodka we pour in, because this could end rather badly. There we go. A conservative amount of vodka. There we go. I could do with a couple of ice cubes, but I can't be bothered to go to the freezer. So let's just pour it in. We've got Duck in the chat. Big up, Duck. The main man. My favourite Dutchman, Duck. Got to like a bit of Duck in the building. Bro, that is fucking strong. I didn't think I fucked that up completely. Jesus Christ. Is that when you start sounding like Boris Johnson? Big up, Boris. Big up, Boris. What brand are you drinking? I am drinking Ciroc at the minute. Funny, like I put that in Discord. Person who got me that was some hoe I used to see. I've not seen her in like 3 months, and randomly come home on I think it was last week, and there was a parcel on my doorstep, and it's a fucking from Amazon. It's a fucking bottle of Ciroc. Couldn't believe it. I fucking made it. I was over the moon, and I ain't seen this bitch in like 3 months. So there you go. I didn't buy her anything, by the way. but I'll hit her up in the new year and try and make some BS excuse why I didn't buy her anything and blah de blah de blah. I'll think of something. That's something I need actually, like right now. I need a new fucking link, because the last chick I was seeing, that's kind of deaded that. Can't be bothered with her, so I need a new link. So I might just hit her up in the new year and get back with her for a bit. Go from there. This year's been funny with chicks, man. Like, I've had really bad spells, but I've had a couple of good spells as well. Been a weird year. Like, I started the year so bad, honestly, but in the summer I did all right. Duck, this is how I'll describe her, the one who bought me this shit. She's a decent looking girl, but she's a bit of a hoe, I'll be honest with you. A bit of a hoe, but yeah, I love Ciroc, man. I can drink that shit. Like, it's so nice. It's just so smooth, man. Love it. Tell her you're sipping that Ciroc. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's something I want to do on this channel, actually. It's like bring more personal stories to the channel. So maybe do videos in regards to certain events / incidents in my life, things like that. I want to I feel like in the videos I make, because it's all boxing related, I keep it too professional almost, right? I find it really hard to kind of put my personality out there on a video. I find it really hard. When it's you talking to you guys, it's fine because you're actually talking to somebody, but talking to a fucking microphone, like with no live people listening, it's really weird. So new year, I am going to try and, do a few more personal videos for this channel. Maybe even like talk about things such as politics and things like that. I know that's not for everybody, but I enjoy it, so what can we say? I enjoy it. Probably get fucking blacklisted, but I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Yeah, Aobs, I did start another channel for it. I did, but I was thinking about it. It's kind of pointless because ultimately my audience is here, right? I mean, I will do something with the second channel eventually, but I'm just not sure yet. I'm not sure. She'll understand what's going down. Yeah, exactly, man. Duck, he likes me a whore. Yes, sir. We all do, mate. They're the best type. They are the best type. What got you into boxing, Don Flamenco? Big up Don Flamenco, another long-time viewer. What got me into boxing? So, I have told this before. So, my first memory of boxing was Tyson versus Lewis in 2002. I was 8 years old, 7 or 8 when that fight happened. And I watched the replay a week later. I think it was on ITV or maybe BBC Sport, one of the two. I watched the replay a week later. Not sure whether it's a full replay or extended highlights, but that's my first memory of boxing. And I was intrigued and it kind of caught my attention, but I never really followed up on it. Then 2004, the Athens Olympic Games happened, and Amir Khan was big news on the TV, being 17 years old, fighting in the Olympics. So I watched some of his fights in the Olympics, and then he turned pro, and I randomly watched his first few pro fights, and I was quite entertained. And basically, it basically went on from that. I then saw Graham Earl versus Michael Katsidis on ITV4. I think this was 2007, and that's the fight that sold me on boxing. That I watched that fight live, and that fight just captivated me. And basically, since then, I've been a boxing fan. Since 2007, like a proper boxing fan. And yeah, the fighter that inspired me to go to the gym the first time was David Haye. I was a big David Haye fan as a kid. Loved his style. I loved the brash kind of persona he kind of put out there, the power punching, you know, the flashy moves and whatnot. He was the guy who inspired me to go to the gym for the first time. Yeah, man, it's just it was a steady. I kind of got into boxing gradually. It wasn't like an overnight thing. It was kind of gradual, but yeah, that's basically the story of how I got into boxing. She must have been great in a sack. Yeah, exactly. Do the part-time thing with her. Yeah, yeah, I did. But she got really clingy after a while. Like she wanted me to make a decision on what I wanted, and blah de blah de blah. And I was like kind of non-committal, as you well as I am, as I've always been like that with females. So I was like non-committal, didn't say no, didn't say yes, didn't really say anything, didn't tell her anything, and she kind of fucked off. And yeah, this is the first I've heard from her in like 3 months. So there we go. There we go. So I might hit. If I hit her up again, I know it's going to be a pain in the ass after a while, but yeah, man, she wasn't too bad in the sack. To be honest, she wasn't too bad. Had better, but she weren't bad. She would suffice. She wasn't a champion. She wasn't like championship level, like a belt holder, but she was a solid top 10 contender. That's how I describe her. If you want the old boxing analogy, solid top 10 contender. I swear, every time, always ends up talking about fucking hoes and shit like that. Every single time. Yeah, man. I agree. Like with the channels, I thought it'd be a good idea to do the second channel, but thinking about it, I mean, what's the point? Honestly, what's the point? The only thing with politics, because I do kind of want to talk about that sort of thing, UK politics, that is, a lot of people get butthurt when they hear you talk about politics. So you could say it in the most respectful way possible. They still get butthurt just because of your beliefs. So I'm debating that one, to be honest. But personal stories, things I've experienced, that's definitely something I want to put out there eventually. There's a few stories in particular I really want to put out there. Only thing is, like, I don't necessarily want to incriminate myself. So, yeah, I'll get around that, but I'll get around it. Do you watch Don Flamenco? Do you watch MMA? Um, very casually, very casually. So you get boxing casuals. I would say I'm a level below casual, to be quite honest. In MMA, I watch the odd fight here and there. So I watched Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. That's actually a really good fight. I enjoyed that. What else did I watch recently? I watched Damian Maia versus Ben Askren, Diaz versus Masvidal. I've watched a few recently. I've watched a few, and I have enjoyed them. I have enjoyed them. I can't lie. I don't mind MMA. I don't hate on MMA. You know, that's the thing. Like, I feel these days, boxing and MMA, the fans are a lot more respectful of each other's sport. I remember back in like 2010, boxing and MMA fans just went at each other. Like, oh, your sport's shit, ours is the best. Like, it's just cringy as fuck. These days, I think it's a lot more. There's a lot more respect between the two sports, which is good. Because like all these guys, man, they put it all on the line, whether it's MMA or boxing. There's some great athletes in these sports. And I'm looking forward to seeing what other fight in MMA do I want to see? I want to see the next McGregor fight versus Cerrone. And the John Jones fight that's coming up. I think he's fighting Dominic Reyes. That should be quite decent. So yeah, there's fights I want to watch. I do watch fights in MMA. Not regularly. I couldn't tell you the top 10 rankings in each division or the history of the sport or anything like that, but I can watch it. Not a big fan of the wrestling, but even the wrestling can be entertaining. So like Khabib, like when I watch his fights, Khabib is like, I'm not necessarily entertained by it, but I'm fascinated by seeing it play out, if that makes sense. How he just slowly dissects his opponents, like just sucks the wind out of them and then beats them. It's just a fascinating thing to see unfold. It's like seeing like an anaconda kill its prey almost. It's crazy. It's weird watching Khabib. It's not, you don't jump off your seat and cheer, but you're captivated at the same time. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. Yeah, Jackal Davis. So politics aren't your thing. Yeah. See, I'm not massively political, believe it or not, but there are certain things that I do take interest in, and there are certain things I do like to talk about. But I'm not one of these people who, and I can't stand these people that they'll hear your political beliefs and they instantly push you aside or like don't give you any time. I'm not one of those people. Even if you've got totally different beliefs to me, I ain't gonna like, you know, like fucking cuss you out or anything like that. You know, it's your opinion. You're entitled to it. It is what it is. Yeah, Aobs. The thing that bonds us is bitches in boxing, 100%, man. Bro, that is strong as shit, man. I fucked that right up. Yeah, Aobs. Yeah, Khabib is like it's crazy watching him fight. He's mad strong as well. Like he's a strong dude. You can see the science in it as well. Like there is science in it. He's a hell of a fighter. He really is. There was one guy in MMA I really liked watching. What's the dude's name? Oh, what's the dude's name? He's kind of shot now, but is it Edson Barbosa, the guy who kicks a lot? That guy, man, I like watching that guy fight. Edson Barbosa. Yeah, he's lost a few fights recently, though. Any interest in kickboxing? K1 was crazy back in the day. If I'm being honest, Bad Nasher, I've not really watched much kickboxing. But if I watch it, I'm sure I'll be entertained. I'm sure I will. I probably need to give it a chance. I know a lot of people are talking about the Badr Hari fight coming up. Or has that happened already? That may have happened already, but that fight I've seen people talk about. I have actually done Muay Thai though, and that was really fun. I enjoyed that. I've said that before on the channel. I really enjoyed Muay Thai. I actually enjoyed doing Muay Thai more than boxing, believe it or not. but I prefer watching boxing. And I found Muay Thai a lot harder. I'll say that now. A lot harder. Oh, it happened. Badr Hari versus Rico 2. Oh, it happened, did it? What happened? I'm going to Google it. 1 second. Badr Hari. Oh, did he get injured? Hang on. Oh, he lost by a leg injury. Okay. Oh, that's cool, Chase Athletics. So you got into boxing because your uncle was a lower level heavyweight. He's a bacon now. Nice. Nice, man. And funnily enough, I mentioned the story about how I got into boxing. I've said this again on the channel before, but the guy I watched, the fight that sold me, obviously, Graham Earl versus Michael Katsidis. Now, Graham Earl lived in my local area, and he had a gym in Hitchin. And I saw the gym, I saw it on online, and I was saying, do you know what? I'm going to check this gym out. You know, owned by a pro fighter. Let's check it out. The week I was going to go there, the fucking place gets busted for a drug raid, so couldn't go. Fuming, man. Yo, what's up, D? I'll be a newie in the chat. Big up, D, man. We're okay, man. We're a bit medicated. Been on the old grapefruit and vodka, bit of banana kush as well to you know, settle our mood. You know how it goes. It's got to be done, man. It's got to be done. So Rika got dropped twice, but he won the fight by leg injury. Okay. Yeah, I think if I give kickboxing a chance, I'd like it. I'd definitely like it. I know I would. But it's finding the time, man. It's hard to follow all these sports. Yeah, Badr Hari. Fucking hell. Badr Hari. I remember a lot of people were talking about him going into boxing. That guy's a juice freak. I think he'd get knocked out in boxing, but that guy's a nutter as well. He's an absolute nutter. Fucking hell. Francis Ngannou in boxing. Yeah, I've seen that rumor as well. Don't be surprised. I mean, apparently the UFC are going to start, you know, doing boxing shows. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Ngannou tries to do boxing. Maybe he does it on the UFC side of things when they promote him still, or something like that. I mean, the guy's got power, and he's a big lump. He's a good athlete. I think, fucking hell. I think as a heavyweight, if there's any division where maybe these guys could transition, it might be heavyweight. Just because the skill level at heavyweight, in my opinion, is a bit less. There's certainly less strength in depth in the heavyweight division in comparison to other divisions. So, like in regards to crossover fights, not crossover fights, but like MMA fighters going to boxing, if any of them have success, I'd say they're going to be maybe heavyweights. To be honest, it's like Tyrone Spong. I know the guy's not particularly great, but you know he's turned over to boxing. He's ranked. I know he's not great, but it's a bad example. But I think like there's guys more naturally talented than Tyrone Spong who have got they've got better physical attributes. I mean, and maybe these guys could do something. I mean, Lucas Brown, for example. Lucas Brown, he started in MMA, and like he started MMA late as well, and he came into boxing nearly 30 years old or 30 years old, and he did okay considering. So someone like Ngannou, I mean, I don't expect the guy to pull up any trees, but you never know. You never know. Yeah, D, that's the thing though. Like if the UFC do go into boxing and somebody like Ngannou actually goes over to boxing, they're gonna have to pay him boxing purses. To be honest, if he builds up a profile, he's already got a profile. People know who he is. D says the UFC heavyweights aren't very athletic, big stiff idiots. Rico Verhoeven has some good boxing skills. I've never seen him fight. I might watch that fight. Yeah, I'm intrigued about Zuffa boxing, Bad Nasher. I'm intrigued. Heard a lot about it. They've been talking about it for years. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we've all heard the rumours as well that Dana White wants the PBC. How true is that? Your guess is as good as mine, but I mean, it'd be interesting. You can say what you want about Dana White, but I'll tell you this: the guy is a tremendous promoter. He's genuinely a world-class promoter, and he delivers fights for fans. We can say about fighter pay, but I might sound like a selfish dickhead. That's not my concern. My concern as a fan is to get the best product. And Dana White, for UFC fans, he's delivered. He has delivered, and he's been a big part of why that company's where it's at. Obviously, he wasn't the guy putting the money in, but he was the face of the company. He still is. He's done a tremendous job. He's a hell of a promoter. A lot of people would actually, it is what it is. Boxing fans and MMA fans, they're two different sports, but Dana White is up there with the greatest promoters of all time in regards to combat sports. He is. I don't see how you can deny it. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm a super casual MMA fan, like super casual, but I love hearing Dana White speak, like talking about fights and things like that. Yeah, Darren Newton, I heard that as well. Frank Warren could be running Top Rank UK. Yeah, I heard about that. Diobi Inui is Eddie Hearn trying to sign up all the good heavyweights to smoke out Wilder? He might be. Taking options away from Wilder, making him come to them kind of thing. Yeah, he could be. No, D, I agree. So, like, Dana White never put the money in. Like, he had the, what's their names? Like, the Fertitta brothers or something like that. They put the money in, but, like, he was a big part of the public. Like, he was a PR guy, wasn't he? He was, like, the face of the company. He did a good job. Like, pushing the sport out there and things like that. He did a good job. In my opinion, at least. I think he's a very good promoter. Didn't build it from scratch, you're right, but like, he's a hype man. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Chase Athletics. Yeah, Spong was a very good kickboxer, from what I've heard. It makes you wonder though, like somebody like Alistair Overeem, if he took up let's say that guy took up boxing at like 20 years old, it makes you wonder how far he would have gone, considering he was a great K1 fighter, he was a great MMA fighter, the guy is obviously a talent. If he took up boxing from like 19, 20 years old and he focused solely on boxing, I wonder how far he would have gone. Alistair Overeem. Yeah, D, that's true. Yeah, once Pride went bust, UFC had a big advantage. It was like with wrestling as well when When WCW went bust, the WWF were like, they was the only guys about. They had no competition. They still don't. So yeah, Pride was sick though. Pride was sick back in the day. I wasn't around watching those fights, but I've watched a lot back, and some of those fights were crazy. Yeah, that's true, D. Alistair Overeem was like a science experiment. What do they call him? Uber Overeem or something like that. Yeah, that guy, man. Yeah, Chase Athletics. Yeah, Dana's the mouthpiece, but he's a very good mouthpiece. He is. I think he's a very good mouthpiece. He does his job. And I like the guy personally. He cracks me up. Some of his rants on fighters, he just doesn't give a fuck. But he couldn't do that in boxing, though. He couldn't cuss out fighters in boxing like he does in MMA, because he knows at the UFC, he could cuss out one of his fighters. They can't really go anywhere. They've got to stay at the UFC if they want to be relevant. So they kind of have to deal with it. Dana White can't really do that in boxing. He can't burn bridges and maybe be as reckless as he is. He would certainly need to change for boxing. No doubt about it. No, big up Jackal Davis. Thank you for coming in, man. Yeah, D. Yeah, Pride, man. Pride back in the day. These guys were juiced to the gills, man. Made for great fights, though. No one got seriously hurt, from what I remember, or from what I've heard. It all worked out well. Got some great fights, man. The likes of Wanderlei Silva, Rampage Jackson, Dan Henderson, all of these guys, man. Yeah, I got Boxing Beats and Rhymes in the building. Fucking that shit's strong as fuck. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I heard about that chase, yes. Tyrone Spong, yeah. He had his bad leg break, yeah. In kickboxing. Yeah, man. We'll see what these guys. Well, Tyrone Spong, I think his career is pretty much fucked right now. But and by the way, lads, check out Boxing Beats and Rhymes. You know his channel. I'm sure you guys have all subscribed to Boxing Beats and Rhymes, but check him out, man. Out of interest, who have you guys got this weekend in Badou Jack, Jean Pascal? See, I like that fight. I think that's a good fight. Both guys coming off. Well, Badou Jack's coming off a loss. Pascal's kind of reinvigorated himself. I think that's a good matchup. I like that fight a lot. I think you should get some good exchanges, some good moments. I think Badou Jack wins it, but I like that fight a lot. The Tank Davis fight, I mean, Tank's being Tank. He's fighting all these washed up guys, but I like that fight. That's a good fight. Michael Moorer, man, he was a good fighter. Especially at light heavyweight. That guy was a killer at light heavyweight. I know a lot of people say Michael Moorer at light heavyweight didn't really beat anybody, but obviously I wasn't around at the time, but looking at his fights, he looked like a fucking problem at light heavyweight. But Michael Moorer was a good fighter. Yeah, and like you say, he beat Holyfield. So you're right, George Michael. He's a very good fighter. That's a hell of a win. You can't take that away from him. It's a hell of a win. D saying he's going to predict Jack to do enough for a draw. Yeah, we all know Badou Jack likes a draw. In fairness, though, like Badou Jack, I felt he beat James DeGale. I felt that was not. I felt it was kind of clear. I'll be honest with you. I felt he beat James DeGale. He beat Lucien Butte as well. That's a draw. I think the Lucian Butte fight got changed to a win though because Butte like popped for PEDs or something like that. But I felt he won both of those fights, to be honest with you. But the thing is, what's the end game for these PBC these light heavyweights at PBC? What's the end game? Because who's the winner of this fight going to fight? If Badou Jack wins, do we want to see Badou Jack Marcus Brown too? Not particularly. You know, these guys need to fight the likes of Beterbiev, Bivol, Ramirez, etc. You can't have these PBC light heavyweights fighting each other over and over. You know, these guys have got to really cross the street, as those guys say, to get these big fights. I like this fight this weekend, but the winner, I don't want to see the winner fight Marcus Brown. I want to see the winner, you know, fight another contender at light heavyweight on the other side. I think the winner of that fight is in line. Who's the WBA? Maybe Bivol, something like that. But yeah, man, this weekend, I mean, you don't usually have boxing this time of the year. Sorry, yeah, I'm high as fuck. I'm really fucking sorry, but fucking hell, let's put that shit away. But yeah, it's good it's good we've got some boxing over the Christmas period. Like this time of year is always fucking dead, to be honest. I'm glad we got some boxing. Main event, like I said, is not great, but I like the co-main. Co-main's good. January is going to be a rough month. There's usually not much boxing in January, but hopefully the year starts off quick. This year was a weird year. Like it started off really slow. Basically, from Joshua Ruiz 1 to now has actually been really, really good. We've had some great fights. So hopefully this year, 2020, hopefully the year starts off quicker. We don't have to wait till June to get good fights. That's what I'm hoping for. We've had a good 2020. There's been some bad things, obviously, you know, all this street crossing talk and things like that. Hopefully that can work itself out and we get these big fights, you know. Like Terence Crawford, I want to see that guy in there with an elite level welterweight in 2020. I really do. You know, things like that. I want to see that sort of thing stamped out in 2020. All this fucking, oh, you're on the wrong side of the street. Oh, you're with a different promoter. I can't fight you. I sell more than you. I can't fight you. I don't want to hear it. I want that shit to be deaded in 2020. I'm sure it's not going to be deaded though. It's gonna fucking same shit's gonna happen. Yeah, DLB Inui, he says eventually these PBC fighters will either leave or demand to fight on other platforms. We've seen Ruiz and Mikey step over recently. Yeah. Although, what's the end game with Mikey Garcia? Because they're paying that dude $7 million. From what I hear, it's a one-fight deal. Like, what's the end game there? Is Mikey really is he really a subscription driver? I'm not so sure. A lot of people are going to be down on that guy after that Spence fight. You know, so I'm not sure what the end goal is there with Mikey Garcia. Who they're going to try and match him up with? Maybe Josh Taylor? Maybe. I don't know. I don't see what they're doing with Mikey Garcia. It's a lot of money to pay for like a one-fight deal with no future plan. It's a hell of a lot of money. Because Jesse Vargas, he ain't going to take peanuts. They're going to bust their bollock on that show. I know DAZN's a subscription channel, but you know what I mean? Like, that's a lot of money to pay for Mikey on a one-fight deal. Darren Newton, really good question. What's happened to the ITV PBC deal? They started the year strong and not seen anything since Pacquiao Furman on pay-per-view. Yeah, exactly. See, I liked that deal, man. We had some good fights. We had Uskatigi versus Caleb Plant. We had Keith Thurman Lopez. We had Pacquiao Thurman. We had some good fights. But halfway through the year, they said, you know what? Fuck this. We ain't going to do it anymore. No reason why. No press release. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. I think they realised, Al Heyman and the PBC, they realised breaking into the UK market isn't that easy. They had that Eubank Jr., the Gale card. From what I heard, that flopped. And maybe that put them off. Maybe it put them off. I don't know, but I'm disappointed about that, to be honest with you. I really am. And again, which journalist has asked those questions on our behalf? What's happened to this deal? Like, nobody's asked the question. I mean, Coogan's had interviews with Sam Watson. I want to know why these fights are not being broadcast now on ITV. Was Charlo Harrison on Sky? By the way, because I watched that fight on a stream. I watched Charlo Harrison on a stream. Was that fight broadcast in the UK? I'm not even sure it was. Maybe it was on Sky, but I don't know. Yo, Nez Mendoza in the chat. Big up to Nez Mendoza. Yeah, Chase Athletics. Maybe it's Mikey's Mexican fan base, but I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know with Mikey. I've never been sold on Mikey. He's a good fighter. Don't get it twisted. He's a good technical boxer, but ever since that Salido fight, when he basically got that fight stopped, I've never been sold on that dude. Something he said as well years ago, when he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically said, I don't do boxing because I like it. I do it because I'm good at it and it earns me good money. And he kind of fell into it. He was from a boxing family, and he picked it up. He was good at it. He stuck with it, and he makes money. And it's like, I've never been. I'll be honest with you. I've never been sold on Mikey like that. Never. Like I said, the Salido fight was a big red flag. Like he and his corner got that fight stopped. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I remember that clear as day. And he's a mercenary. Mikey is boxing's biggest mercenary. Seems like a nice dude. He is a good fighter, but that guy's here to pick up as many paydays as possible. And I'm not like, judging the dude or anything like that, but I just don't see that guy. He's not that dude. He's not. He ain't that dude. Never has been, in my opinion, but yeah, man. Yeah, Chase, I saw that, yeah. The thing is, though, that Jacobs-Chavez fight, it was shaping up to be a half-decent fight, but fucking Chavez being Chavez, he's going to pull that shit. Not really surprised. I made a video before that fight about Chavez being a disgrace and had a couple of people on that video saying I was being harsh and whatnot, but he is, man. He's a disgrace. He's a spoilt brat. But, what did Eddie Hearn expect? I mean, that was a bit of an own goal. The guy's got that track record. That can always happen with Chavez Jr. But Chavez Jr., listen, man, I'll tell you this now. A couple of years' time, he'll have a couple of tune-up fights. He'll get fucking wheeled out again, and he'll get another big payday. He'll get another couple of million. It is what it is, man. And to think, at one point, people were fucking chasing Chavez around, man. Golovkin, Froch, all of these dudes, man, wanted Chavez. Even Andre Ward. Fucking hell. All for that name. I can't believe. I knew I shouldn't have done it. I can't believe I stayed up for that fucking fight, Chavez. Don't know why I did it. The only positive, though, was watching Martinez fight. He is a fucking problem, that kid. He's a problem. Yeah, D. I said that as well with Chavez Jr. So he's like fucking his mannerisms, how he acts. There's something about that dude that isn't right. That guy has something wrong with him somewhere. Maybe it's just he's spoiled, mollycoddled. Maybe it's that, but I swear there's something wrong with that dude. Like straight up. There's something wrong with that dude. He's had all the opportunities in the world and like he blew it, man. Like the whole Sergio Martinez situation, if you remember that, when they basically robbed Sergio's belt to give to him. He had all of these advantages and he still fucked it up. Still couldn't train. Still, yeah, he's a disgrace, man. And the whole listen, man, the thing that pissed me off this weekend the most was the Chavez apologists saying, "Oh, Chavez got fouled, he got elbowed, blah blah blah." Yo, my man came in 5 pounds overweight, like barely any drug testing. Did you see him using his shoulder in that fight? I did. Using his forearm, I did. The guy Chavez has always been the dirty fighter, using his head, leaning in with his head. Like I said, the shoulder, hitting low. Chavez is a fucking dirty fighter and a PED cheat and a guy who never makes weight. Yet you're selling this guy. You're crying this guy a river. Come on now. I'm glad that guy got beat. As for Jacobs, I mean, we'll see where his future lies at 168. We'll see. I didn't think he looked that great, but at the same time, the guy was fighting a fucking cruiserweight. So I won't be too harsh. We'll see what he does in his next fight. I'd love to see Danny Jacobs versus Billy Joe. See, that's a fight that should have really happened at 160. But yeah, that's the fight I'd like to see personally. Billy Joe, Danny Jacobs. I think that's a good fight. Billy Joe needs a good opponent. You know, Danny Jacobs, he's gone up to that division to win titles. So let's get it, man. Let's get that fight. Or even Danny Jacobs versus Callum Smith, I wouldn't be mad at. I think Danny's done enough to get a title shot based on his previous work. For me, like Danny Jacobs is one of those fighters who doesn't really get enough credit for the run he went on. So he fought like in like a 6-7 fight period. He fought unbeaten Golovkin, pound for pound level. He fought Canelo, a pound for pound level fighter. He fought Quillin, who was unbeaten. He fought Derevyanchenko unbeaten. He fought Seletsky unbeaten. For like a 7-8 fight run, he fought some fucking good competition. He really did. So I've got a lot of time for Danny Jacobs. How long do you think it will take for Japan to have a world heavyweight champion in boxing? Damn, that's a good question. Their scene right now is actually popping off. You know, they've got Inoue and all of these guys at the lighter weights, Tanaka, people like that. Their scene's really hot right now, so you never know, but you just don't get those fighters out that part of the world, man. And the ones that have came out of that part of the world, from like China, I know it's not Japan, but you know what I mean. They've never really been that great. So I don't really expect it anytime soon, to be honest with you. Based on Billy Ho's last fight, Jacobs should beat him. Yeah, I think I'd make Jacobs a favourite. But it's a good fight. I don't think Jacobs looked too hot against Chavez, if I'm being honest. But we'll see. It's his first fight at the weight against a guy who was obviously like a cruiserweight. Jacobs is really inaccurate. He's a really inaccurate puncher. He made Canelo and Chavez look like Sweepy at times. Yeah, Chavez was in there moving his head. I couldn't fucking believe it. I couldn't believe it. And yeah, he was pushing his punches a lot against Chavez. Like he was kind of worried to commit. I think I heard Eddie Hearn say in an interview, Jacobs told him about when he got caught with a body shot, he felt the power from Chavez. and it kind of made him reassess, kind of thing. Boxing Brains, I reckon if somebody goes and tests AJ White Reactport now, 100% positive, man. Listen, man, my whole thing is I think most of these guys are juicing anyway. I'm not that interested in juicing these days. I'm really not. I'm really not. It's a pointless conversation. I mean, until we get a day where there's one universal body that runs drug testing, that hands out the punishments, etc., etc., it's pointless talking about, because in America, state to state, it varies. In one state, you can test positive for a PD, you get X amount of time. In another, you might not get any time. Countries vary. It's pointless even talking about it. It's pointless, honestly. Yeah, exactly, Duckman. Chavez looked like a heavyweight. Okay, Boxing Brains, you're interested in PDs because it affects betting. Maybe, but most of these guys are on something, man. Yeah, D, most of these guys, someone should tell Spence to have a couple of tune-ups before stepping up. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Like, if I'm Spence's manager, I'd give that dude a tune-up. Maybe take care of the IBF mandatory against that Quadratilo guy, because he's not a great fighter by any means, and he's a Mando, so use that fight as a tune-up, get the Mando out of the way. Jobs are good. But I mentioned earlier in regards to Spence, the interview everyone's talking about, I think a lot of people are going overboard in regards to how he sounded, to be honest. A lot of people are saying he sounded punch drunk and things like that. Yeah, he sounded a bit worse for wear. Yeah, he sounded a bit rough, but it wasn't that bad, man. I mean, the guy's had dental surgery and God knows what else. That shit can take a long time to heal and recover from. So I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be okay. But it's whether he learns from it, because, like I said earlier, the worrying thing from that interview that nobody's talking about is how Spence basically, and again I'm paraphrasing, but Spence said, essentially, if it was somebody else, they would have died, kind of thing. And he was like, it's kind of, I don't know, he's like insinuating he's Superman and like indestructible. If that's the attitude you take, are you really going to learn from that? Spence has really disappointed me. I'll be completely honest. You guys know, as a fighter, Errol Spence is my favourite welterweight, hands down. Like, he's my favourite. I think if everyone fought each other, he'd come out on top, if I was a betting man. But since he's won that title, man, he's just gone off the rails pretty much. Not off the rails, but, well, he has gone off the rails. He fucking drove a car 100 miles per hour and flipped it and nearly died. So, yeah, he has gone off the rails, but I don't know, man. Oh, Duck, yeah. Harrison versus Charlo fight. How did you score it? So I'm like you. I had Charlo 2 rounds. I gave Charlo the second round, obviously, where he dropped Harrison. And I gave Charlo the 8th, I want to say. Yeah, 8th, round 8. Round 7, you could have scored to Charlo as well, because it was quite close. So yeah, I gave Charlo 2 rounds until he got the knockout. Yeah, Brian Kenny was definitely, getting in there, asking those questions, man. That's Brian Kenny though. He's one of those antagonistic journalists. Do you remember that guy when he interviewed Floyd back in the day? Like that, yeah, that guy. That's his style. I can't stand that dude, if I'm being honest. Like, he's a fucking clown, but you know, That's his style of journalism, I guess, or his interview style. Just really antagonistic. Duck, Duck says, I think Spence could be a ruined fighter. I mean, you never know. Certainly not going to benefit you, is it? Flipping a fucking Ferrari at 100 miles per hour. We'll see how it pans out. Hopefully he can regain his form, get back to where he was, and we can get some great fights. We want this Crawford fight, man. We want the Crawford fight. That's what we want, man. I can't imagine his punch resistance being the same. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say that. I've heard a lot of people say the fact that he's had a lot of injuries, like he's had teeth removed and teeth have come out and had teeth replaced. Apparently, that can affect punch resistance. I'm not sure how true that is. I'm not a dentist, but if that is the case, I mean, it's going to be interesting seeing Errol get hit flush for the first time, since his comeback against a puncher. It's going to be interesting. It really is. But like I said, hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he can actually learn from his mistakes. That's the main thing. Fingers crossed. But again, I mean, that's happened to other boxers. Salvador Sanchez, I mean, 23 years old. He passed away in a road accident. I think Salvador Sanchez was on a motorbike though, maybe. But yeah, these guys, man, they think they're indestructible. Like Errol Spence needs to get a grip and really focus. Yeah, he probably had brain trauma of some description, concussion. Yeah, Duck, that is correct. That's true. That is true. I don't buy that he's not going to fight a tune-up next. He'll definitely fight a tune-up. 100%. I think he's got to. But he's saying he won't, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Seemed to go downhill since the Broner influence, yeah. Yeah, why would you want to chill with Adrian Broner anyway? Honestly, like, fucking hell. Like, I worry for Tank Davis as well. Tank Davis is another guy who I've been, kind of talking about in regards to his decisions outside the ring. Personal issues, getting fat outside the camp, drinking, things like that. He could go down again. He could be another wasted talent if he's not careful. Because hell of a fight. He's a great talent and whatnot. 2017, he beat Pedraza. He made a mandatory defense in the UK against Liam Walsh. I know Liam Walsh isn't great, but he went abroad. He took care of his Mando. 2017 was looking great for Tank Davis, but after the Walsh fight, it's really gone downhill. He's not done anything, and since then we've seen certain things in his private life. We've seen his ill discipline, things like that. Hopefully he gets it together, but I don't think he's the guy who will. I just don't have any faith in Tank as a person to get it together. I've got belief in him as a fighter. I think he's actually got a lot of talent and he's got a lot more ability than a lot of people let on. But it takes more than that, obviously. You need your head screwed on. And eventually, listen, Tank's going to implode. He will implode. No doubt about it. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he can prove me wrong. That's what I'm saying, Duck, with his mindset. So he, like I said, certain things he said, like, oh, I'm a beast, when he put that on social media. and things like that. Like, doesn't sound like a guy who's learnt his lesson. And listen, I can't. I always try and put myself in these guys' shoes. Right, I'm 25 years old. I'm a bit younger than Spence, but if I came into money right at my age right now, I'd probably do. Yeah, I know I'd like go overboard and do stupid shit. So I'm not sitting here judging the dude because I might do the same thing. But like, for as a boxing fan, I want to see this guy in the best fights. I want to see him at his best. You know, fighting these other guys. That's what I want to see. So hopefully he can get it together. Fingers crossed. D, he says Tank is okay. People are going overboard with his talent. I know what you're trying. I know what you're saying. Like, there are certain flaws again, even in regards to his technical side of things, that I do question about Tank. Mainly his feet. He's got that Broner footwork, dragging that back leg kind of thing. If you watch Broner, you know what I mean. When he drags his back leg, you know, kind of slow on the front foot, things like that. But like, the raw ability's there, the power's there, the hand speed, the reactions, all that's there. Like, he's fairly accurate. Like, with the right training, if he applied himself, I think that dude could go a long way. I really do. I mean, how he beat up Pedraza was impressive. A lot of people make excuses for Pedraza, but it was impressive. It really was. But he's not pushed on since then. What's he done since Pedraza? Absolutely nothing. He beat Cuellar. He's beaten absolutely nobody. So there we go. Stuart Devers, he says, do you think many British casual boxing fans are being hoodwinked by the state of boxing? Every televised 10-round event is for some version of a title. More and more belts. I think that's just the nature of the beast. When there's a belt on the poster, I think people automatically assume it's a better fight. It's a marketing ploy. That's what I think most of these belts are. They're a marketing ploy for promoters. And, you know, for the sanctioning bodies, like the WBA, Intercontinental, whatever, it's all sanctioning fees. So both sides are winning. Both sides are getting something out of it. And I just think that's the way boxing's going, to be honest. I think that's the way boxing's going. Now, that's a great fight, Duck. Teofimo Lopez versus Tank Davis. That's a hell of a fight. I'll tell you what, Teofimo really impressed me. I picked him to win, but I felt Comey would give him a lot of problems. I felt it would be a tough fight, but he blew him out of there. I've seen Richard Comey in the flesh. I saw him at York Hall when he fought Gary Buckland. The dude's a good fighter, legit. He's a good fighter, but man, he got fucking blown out. Really didn't expect that. I know Comey's not a perfect fighter, but he's physically strong. He punches hard. He's dangerous, man. And yeah, Teo done the job on him. Hell of a performance. And that's the fight I want to see next, is Teo versus Lomachenko, man. But Teo Tank Davis, hell of a fight, man. And I'll tell you this now. If Teofimo could beat Lomachenko, yeah, he man, his star power, that kid could be a star, you know, if he could beat Lomachenko. He's only, what, 22 years old? I mean, he's only going to get better. Providing he kind of keeps his head on his shoulders, which is something I always worry about with these prospects, as we've discussed earlier. Providing he can do that, stay dedicated, kid's going to be a problem. He really is. And he's jumped Devin Haney in the queue in regards to the Lomachenko fight. He's blown him out of the water with that performance. Devin Haney right now is on the back burner. It's all about Teo versus Lomachenko. That's the fight I want to see. Hell of a fight. There ain't no televised fights from Hearn, only pay-per-view. Yeah, I think the regular Sky Sports shows have got worse, to be honest. I think the year started okay. We had Fitzgerald Fowler on regular Sky. That Liverpool card was quite good. I think Charlie Edwards made a title defense on regular Sky. That card was okay. But yeah, the regular Sky cards aren't really what they should be right now. I know times change, the demographic changes and the consumer base, you know, all this changes. But like in 2012, we was getting Lucien Butte, Carl Froch on regular Sky. And these days, it feels like we got to pay for any half decent fight. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. That's the way boxing's going. Boxing works in cycles. Eventually, with every boom, there's going to be a bust, right? That bubble's going to keep on getting bigger, 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 bigger. Eventually, it's got to burst. And eventually, we're going to be in the same position we were when Warren got kicked. Warren got kicked out of Sky. Sky totally stopped doing pay-per-view, and boxing in the UK was at a bad place. And then obviously the Olympics in 2012 happened. AJ came out and done his thing. Carl Froch headlined pay-per-views, and since then British boxing's been it's been growing, but eventually it's going to burst again. You can't just keep on. It works in cycles, man. It's always going to be that way. So it is what it is. I mean, what can we say? What can we say? I mean, time will tell, but we've got our stars in the UK now: Joshua, Fury, White, etc. Who's the guys who are coming through to replace these guys, like the next generation? I know it's still early, but who's that next pay-per-view star after these guys? Dubois? Personality-wise, I don't think he really cuts it. And as a fighter, he's got a hell of a lot to prove. I mean, who's out there? Like, who's going to be that next dude? Is there anybody in the amateurs who's got a really big buzz like Joshua had? Like I was watching Joshua in 2011 when a dude was fighting in the World Amateur Championships, because I think he won a silver in those games. I think he won a silver, and I watched that on BBC Sport on the iPlayer. No, not iPlayer, like Red Button, whatever you call it. So like, it was obvious even when Joshua was an amateur, it was obvious that dude was going to be a star. Like, there's nobody in the amateur ranks right now who jumps out as a future star in the UK scene. Nobody at all. If you can name them, then I'll disagree or agree. But George Michael, he says Guido Vianello. Yeah, but like, I'm talking about UK fighters, like the UK scene. Like right now, we're kind of booming, but there's a bust around the corner, man. Oh yeah, Shep, mate. I've been going for like 2.5 hours. I was going to wrap this up like an hour ago maybe, but I've just stayed on. In fairness, though, in regards to Devin Haney, I mean, obviously Luke Campbell and Javier Fortuna, they're going to fight next for the vacant belt. Good fight. If Devin Haney fights the winner of that fight, I'm all happy. That's a good fight. Yeah, exactly, D. Yeah, exactly. Do you remember when Tyson Fury went on the Bunce show, on Steve Bunce's show, and he was talking about Joshua? Tyson Fury brought it up. He was talking about Joshua. Watch out for him. Basically saying he bashed him up in sparring, and how good he was. Like, people have been hearing about. People think Joshua in the UK just happened overnight. Like, boxing people have heard about Joshua for a long time, before 2012. This guy was always going to be a star if it panned out. Like, if he done what he had to do, the guy was always going to be a star. Like, London 2012 was like, Well, it was the biggest event to happen to this country in what, the millennium so far. And Joshua was one of the main faces of those games, even before he won a medal. Like he's always like it was obvious that dude was going to be a star if he did what he had to do. Because funnily enough, when back in 2012, funny I mentioned that, the guys who were supposed to be stars in the GB boxing team were Joshua, which happened, and if you guys can guess the other one, I'll give you a medal. But it was Anthony Ogogo, because Anthony Ogogo was supposed to be he was supposed to be like a massive star as well. But obviously Ogogo, his career never panned out. But you know, he had the look, he had the like the personality to cross over, but it never really worked out with Ogogo. Because Ogogo used to be on the old Subway ads, if you remember, back in 2012. Man, 2012, man, it's mad. 2012 feels like maybe 2 years ago. It's crazy, man. I feel like the last decade's just gone so fucking quick. Like, to me, 2010 seems recent, but like, if you asked me in 2010, does the year 2000 seem recent? I'd have called you nuts. I'd say, no, that seems like decades ago. It's mad, isn't it? As you get older, your perception of time changes. It's weird as fuck. It's really, really strange. Like, I can't believe it's going to be 2020 in a few days, man. Madness, man. Madness. But do you guys feel the same way about time as you get older? Your perception of it changes. Yeah, it's weird, man. I know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, B Space. I agree, by the way. Loma's not going to duck that smoke. He'll fight Tio. That's going to happen next. And it's going to be a good fight as well. It's going to be a sick fight. Yeah, B Space, exactly. It seems to go faster, man. Time. Every year, mate, it just goes by quicker and quicker and quicker. It's crazy. Like when he was a kid, a year would seem like an eternity. Like it would just last forever. Like you think a year seemed like 5 years, but like now, man, like it's madness. Yeah, I'm high as fuck, so I do apologise, talking absolute nonsense, but yeah, exactly, Shep. That is true. That is very true. Because you get conscious. Like time is the scariest thing in the world. Maybe some of you know what I mean. Maybe some of you don't. I know. Yeah, it's a throwaway comment. But time is the scariest thing in the world. It really is. Because we're not here forever, man. And you realise that as you get older. Max Kirkerman, my perception of boxing hasn't changed. It's always been a shit show. Yeah, official, yeah. I would say especially the last 6 years, I'd say in particular, like basically since I left college, it's just gone crazy quick. It's insane. I don't understand it, man. Like the last 10 years of life and shit, I can remember to a T, right? But like beyond that just feels too long ago to remember. It's madness. Exactly, Duck. Everything changes, time doesn't. It's always passing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Shep. Exactly. Yeah, exactly, man. Time, man. Honestly. And that's the worst thing about, you know, what am I trying to say? I don't know. Maybe that's a video. We'll go into that later. We'll talk about that later. I was gonna talk about a story, but we'll go into it. Maybe yeah, separate video. Separate video. But yo, Buddy Aces in the chat. Big up, Buddy Aces. Big up. Yeah, we're talking about all types of shit right now. We're talking about time and our perception of time and things of that nature. You know, this is a very sophisticated broadcast. Yeah, D, that's the thing, mate. Time goes quick. Try and get your job/careers in check if you're young, whilst you have no kids or extra responsibilities. Yeah, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. And one thing I would say, if there's anyone watching this video who's like young, like maybe 16, 17, what I'd say to you guys, while you're living with your parents and let's say you're earning money, do your utmost to save as much as possible. I'd give that advice to anybody. That is one thing I did do. I saved a hell of a lot of money when I was at home, and I've not touched it. Like it's still there. Like if I need it, things like that. Like when you don't have responsibilities, like Dee's made a very good point here. When you don't have responsibilities, try and get as much shit in order as you can, whether it's saving money or finding that career path or whatever it may be. Like I'll be honest with you, lads. My job right now, I earn decent money, but I don't fucking bring back mega bucks. I still don't really know what I want to do. I'll be completely honest with you guys. But at the same time, I've got other shit in order that a lot of people don't have at my age. So it's swings and roundabouts. Just try and get as much shit ticked off your just try and get as much shit sorted out as you can while you're young, is what I'd say. Do you know what I mean? And as Duck said though, I mean, you still got to balance it though. You still got to have fun along the way. It can't be all work, save. It can't be all that. And that's a mistake I did make when I was younger. I got into a period where I was scared to fucking spend money. I was scared to spend money. What's the point in that? Like you've got to you've got to get the balance right, but it's a difficult one. You can't tell anyone how to live their lives, but you can give advice and whatnot. One thing I would say though, when you can, no matter where you're at in life, if you can save money, do it. That's one thing I will say. Exactly, George Michael. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's another thing, sometimes in life you can't always, no matter how hard you try, shit's gonna happen. Like there's things you can't control, and you got to deal with it. Like especially as a man, you need to deal with it. Like if something happens in your family, you need to be there for your mum or or younger siblings or whatever, man. You've got to get your shit together. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's something in this country that has gone, and in America, I guess. Like, America, UK, the Western world is so like consumerism is madness. Like I think at school, like kids should learn in school. Like in school, there should be lessons on how to manage your finances. I'm not talking about fucking investment plans or anything like that. Just basic shit. Teach kids about credit cards, teach kids about saving money and things like that. I honestly believe that sort of stuff should be taught in schools. Basic stuff. day-to-day life. That's something that's missing these days. Like, in the Western world, a lot of families now, like the nuclear family, is kind of scoffed at. That's really kind of going out the window. Originally, that was something your mum and dad should teach you, but these days, kids, man, coming from broken families and shit like that, they're not going to learn that sort of thing. So, yeah, you need to teach these kids like how to save money and make the best of it. But it is what it is. We're rambling here. We're rambling. Big up Levi Khan, by the way. See, the Quags, I've been looking at stocks for a long time. So I've got savings, right? But I've just never had the confidence to do it. I need to really look into it, really, really research it. Do you know what I mean? But but there's no finite way how to live life. I mean, so for example, like I've been saying all this shit, how to get your shit together and whatnot. So I'll give you an example. My best mate, his stepdad, right? He is the most, don't want to say dysfunctional. That's the wrong word. The most carefree person I've ever known in my life. Like, honestly, he's lost jobs, he's made fuck ups, but on the surface, this guy is the most positive dude in the world. Every time I've been out with him on a night out, when he's come out with us, the guy is the soul of the party. That, you know what I mean? Like I can't explain what I mean, but like, however, whatever works for you, do you, I guess. But yeah, at the same time, don't neglect your future. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. Yeah, Levi Khan, I saw that. Joyce Huck now off. Yeah. Marco Hook, I think he picked up a hand injury, maybe. So that fight's off. Big up Jason Bourne. I've got a fucking cat with me, by the way. It's fucking my parents' cat. I've got a fucking cat sitter. Oh, for fuck's sake, he wants food. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so apparently Marco Hook got injured. I think he picked up a hand injury. Yeah, this fucking cat, man, it's winding me up. 1 second. Oh, fuck's sake. Yeah, B space. Yeah, exactly. Go over what you feel in your gut. Try not to get distracted with stuff you don't need. Enjoy. Yeah, exactly. 1 second. This fucking cat, man. Okay, we're back. We are back. Sheffield Sons loves it. The cat's here. He loves it. Oh, Christ. Yeah, it's not my cat, by the way. It's not my cat. Jesus. Where are we at? George Michael, he wants to buy a mansion near the beach, watch some movies. Okay. Oh, dear. Big up George Michael, coming out for Christmas, You know how it is. Yeah, I need to look into stocks as well. Like I've been I've been meaning to look into that for a long while, but I've just not got round to it. I've not got round to it. I'll have a look at it though. Like, there's been numerous things I've looked at online, like not stocks, but other things like drop shipping and things like that. And like sales funnels, schemes like that. But I need to really like take some time off and have like a week to myself where I just research it and really kind of get to grips with it. But it's getting the time to do it, kind of thing. And another thing, so I'm in a position where, listen, I've got some savings. I've got, for my age, I think I've got better savings than most, but don't particularly want to risk it. That's my problem. But AJ Pulev next is a joke. Pulev is 39 and got brain damage from Klitschko. I think that's a fight we're going to see, though, because I'll tell you for why. If Joshua does vacate, it's going to be the WBO, because Parker and Usyk are both matchroom fighters, so it stays in-house. So Joshua can vacate, he can beat Pulev, and then he can fight the winner of Parker and Usyk. It would make sense if he's got to vacate a belt as a promoter, you would make him vacate for WBO. But I don't want to see that. I'd much rather see Usyk, but we've got to just be real here in this situation. Yeah, for Quags, that is true. That is true. That's very true. George Michael. Do you know, I was supposed to wrap this up about over an hour ago, and we're still here. I have got an account on one of these fucking stockbroker sites. What's it called? 1 second. I think it's UK based, but I'm not sure. Let's have a look. I think it's IG Trade. Yeah, IG Trading. That's it. Because I've only done it once. I've done it when if you guys remember when VW, I'm not sure whether you guys in the US know, but over here there's a big story about VW, Volkswagen, when they lied about their emissions, and that was a big news story back in a few years ago. And after that, their stocks plummeted. And my boss at the time, he bought stocks in VW, and I was like listening into the conversation. He was having a conversation with somebody else, and I was listening in, and he said, "Oh, I bought loads of stock in VW because of the situation." I did the same thing, and I did all right out of it. I made some money on that, but that's the only time I've done it. Okay, so Robinhood is good, and Charles Schwab is free. Okay. Buddy Aces, buy lottery tickets and cross your fingers. Exactly, man. Hopefully we get Usyk Joshua next, though. That'd be great. Right, we've poured ourselves one more vodka and grapefruit. So after this, we'll definitely call it a fucking night, because I've got to get up early tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? So again, I said I'd pour the fucking last one the last time, but we've nearly got through this fucking bottle. That is embarrassing. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. Yeah, the Quags, yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, putting your eggs in one basket is the worst thing you could do. If you drop that basket, all your eggs are fucked. So, yeah, yeah, I really need to have a look because that's what's frustrating me right now. Is like having money sit there and do nothing with it. It is kind of frustrating, to be honest. But do you know what I mean? It's frustrating, but at the same time, like at least they're there. That's the only thing I can say. Health is wealth. Happiness comes in moments. Richard Gere was miserable. I liked the Richard Gere mention, but yeah, you're right. You are right. Fucking hell. Who's that girl in your profile picture? Do you know what, mate? I've got no idea, D. What I'll do is I'll find out and I'll put it on the old community tab. A lot of people have asked me, but yeah, she's alright, isn't she? She's kind of stacked. Levi Khan. What's Liam Smith thinking about with his career? I mean, he's had 3 fights this year: Sam Eggington, Lozano, and Roberto Garcia. He stayed active, I guess, but he's not had any big fights. I don't get why Eddie Hearn just don't make Kell Brook Liam Smith. To be quite honest, Kell Brook can't get a fucking big fight for love nor money. You know what I mean? Like, just make that fight happen. It's not a massive fight, but it'll do okay. Yeah, George Michael's dead as fucking. He's dead as a dodo. Dead as a fucking dodo. But you know, I'm a man who can, you know, resurrect the dead. We've got George Michael in our chat, so we're doing something right. Having said that, though, if I could resurrect one person, it certainly wouldn't be fucking George Michael. So maybe I'm doing something wrong. Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell. I'll be doing something really wrong if I could only resurrect George Michael. Fucking hell. Yeah, we did have Tommy Morrison in the chat as well at one point. Yeah, we had Tommy Morrison, George Michael, all age-related people. Did George Michael have AIDS? I'm sure he did. Ah, that's the old PC brigade are going to come get me now. But Levi Khan, he doesn't think Spencer's going to be the same again. Time will tell. Yeah, we had Robert Mugabe. We did have Jason Bourne. We've got Jason Bourne. What are we talking about, man? Yeah, Levi. I saw the interview on PBC with Errol Spence. I mentioned it earlier. I felt a lot of people went overboard with it in regards to how he sounded. He didn't sound perfect by any means, but the guy's had, like I said, the guy's had a fucking dental surgery. He's on God knows what medication. Man, he's going to be a bit worse for wear. But considering, I didn't think he sounded too bad considering these circumstances. Yeah, John Candy was sick for Quags, man. I like John Candy. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, one of my favourite movies of all time. I love that film. Who's most likely to get CTE? Price, Allen, Enzo Macronelli, etc. In regards to that list you gave me, because Price gets knocked out so early, he saves himself from punishment. Dave Allen's going to be the one in that list because he's got a chin and he sustains punishment. And Enzo's pretty bad as well. He is pretty. Enzo's always sounded like that though. He's always sounded bad. Like he's got that thick Welsh accent. He's always sounded like he's never been that eloquent. Fucking hell. George Michael. I found a great specialist in Austria who reversed my AIDS. That's how I discovered Klitschko and my love of boxing. My voice is fragile now. Fucking hell. Oh dear. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Enzo won't live to see 50. Fucking hell, mate. Don't put the old curse on him. See, I think though, fighters getting knocked out badly, it's not really necessarily an indicator of who's going to get CTE. Like Jerry Quarry, for example, that guy had a chin. He took a lot of punishment, and look how he ended up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think having a really good chin and taking a lot of punishment is a lot worse, to be honest. Getting knocked out, it looks terrible. It looks visceral. Like with David Price, some of his knockouts, Tepper, Povetkin, they look really brutal. But what's worse, that or a long sustained beating over 12 rounds? I say the beating over 12 rounds. And as Dee said, that's a very good point. Brain damage also comes from sparring a lot. Yeah, exactly. And as somebody said in the chat, James Toney, that was a guy who was renowned for basically his training was just sparring. Didn't really do much road work, wasn't a fan of the pads, anything like that. That guy just sparred. Do you know what I mean? So boxing brains, apparently Dave Allen's not the same from 2 years ago. He does sound different. He's put it down to the fact that his tongue got split against Luis Ortiz. Maybe that could be a factor, but the guy's taken a lot of punishment. He's taken a hell of a lot of punishment. He really has. And as for Dave Allen, like I don't really want to see this guy again on Sky. What are they going to do with him? Feed him a couple of journeymen, he'll knock him over, then he'll get slapped up again. But there we go. You know, that's boxing. That's always been boxing. A lot of these guys get chewed up and spat out. What's that? Okay. Exactly, the Quags. It looks brutal. Like I say, it looks so visceral, but at the same time, like taking a 12-round shellacking, like that's probably going to be worse. Having a great chin could actually be worse for you in the long run. Like it's crazy Kyle Froch isn't like stuttering and punch drunk, to be honest. Because that guy took a lot of shots. Levi Khan, Plant versus Feigenboots next. Ducking Angulo. Nah, man, they're both trash fights. Like Angulo, he beat a shot Quillin. Quillin was just more shot than Angulo. Angulo is shot, make no mistake about it. Angulo is shot. But Peter Quillin was more shot. Having said that, though, have you seen Peter Quillin's wife? I'd be shot as well. Do you know what I mean? She's alright. She ain't too bad, you know. She ain't too bad. Fuck training. As long as people know what you're saying, then it's fine. Some people have voice quirks anyway. More of a head pain I'm concerned with for Alan, yeah. Exactly. Like I've got my fucking voice quirks as well. Like I get tongue tied a lot. Like You don't really hear it in the fucking videos, but on these live streams you do. Yeah, Peter Quillen's wife is nice, you know. The Linares' wife, yeah, Jorge Linares, his wife is banging. Who's the other one? I'm gonna get stick for saying it, but fucking Lara's wife, Erislandy Lara, fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Fucking hell. See, I could handle that, man. I could handle that shit, trust me. Fucking hell. She's nice, though, isn't it? Yeah, Carl Froch, man, he had a great chin. He was my favourite UK fighter back in the day. Carl Froch. Oh yeah, I saw that, Levi. Denis Lebedev lost to Mashunu this weekend. Yeah, Lebedev, man, he needs to hang him up. He's not the fighter he was. Mashunu's a good fighter, don't get it twisted, but Lebedev in his prime would have won that fight. Yeah, Benavidez' mum as well. She's up there. Austin Trout's wife, yeah, I remember her from the Alvarez build-up. Yeah, she was nice. Yeah, the Quags, that's a really good shout. Arthur Abraham, his sister, he could take a beating. Yeah, I read another comment as well down there. Arthur Abraham, yeah, he could take a beating. He had a great chin. He had a very good chin. Omar Figueroa's sister, yeah, she's up there. Am I the only one feeling Lara's wife? Maybe I am, but maybe I am. Let's look at Andre Berto's wife. Let's have a look. Somebody in the chat mentioned it. Let's have a look. Bruv. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Yeah, she's alright, you know. Yeah. 100%. Sakio Beaker's wife. Oh, dear. Levi Khan. Sakio Beaker's wife looks like Dave Allen after 12 hard rounds. Oh, yeah, Lomachenko's sister. Yeah, she's nice. Now, Lara's wife's not fat. She's thick, but I think she's alright, you know. I don't think she's too bad at all. Erislandy Lara wife. Let's have a look. She's one of those chicks who, like, in certain pictures, she looks banging. In others, not so much. But I still definitely would. Do you know what I mean? Boxing brains, fucking hell. Exactly, Duck. That's the spirit. Tim Bradley's wife, Jesus. Fucking hell. Fuck's sake. Anyway, lads, I'm gonna wrap this one up, you know. It's been a long one actually. I was gonna wrap this up ages ago, so yeah. Gonna wrap this one up. Cheers for dropping by. If you could smash the like on the way out as well, be much appreciated. Really helps us out, no doubt. So yeah, man. Thank you guys for joining, man. I'm gonna go to bed. Do you know what I mean? Gotta go to bed. Early day tomorrow, working, so it is what it is. Cheers, guys.